It's me, Dave the London cabbie. Not working at present due to, sadly, health issues. Anyway, this weekend, the famous Manchester United take on Everton, the miserable Toffees. And I believe Everton will get relegated this season. This game is a must-win game for United, and I think they will win. The famous Manchester United 3, Everton 1. Because we can't seem to keep a clean sheet. One love, MUFC.
What's going on, Paddock boys? This weekend we've got Everton, and there's been a lot of negativity around the club since last weekend's Derby Day defeat. But this weekend, I think United can get going again. And I haven't given up on top four, and I certainly haven't given up on Ten Hag. I think it's going to be 3-0, and I think Marcus Rashford, having scored on last weekend, will score twice this weekend. Come on, United.
I'm actually hoping that we go with the same 11 and setup as we did against City. Obviously not as defensive, but I think it's going to help Garnacho and Rashford get in behind their fullbacks and not give Branthwaite anyone to get a grip of. But aside from that, I think this one will go the same way as West Ham at home. Comfortable 3-0 win, and then we sit back and watch our rivals hopefully drop points.
4-1.
Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe. This is the watch along for Man United versus Everton at Old Trafford. Fucking hell, sorry, I don't happen there. Just had too much caffeine, I think. Jay's here.
How you doing, bro?
Fucking yes! This is it, man. We're shit. But there's a chance we'll be slightly less shit after today because I've got a feeling we're going to get a juicy little dub today.
Also as well, we've got a goal. We've got a goal.
Yeah.
I've just had a message off my better half, and it's for Erlen Vale, and it's Ellis Motty has got his first goal for the club.
Oh.
So I'm absolutely buzzing for that. I'm gutted I can't be there, but I couldn't be prouder of him.
Such a shame.
He's just scored. He's put one in from a corner apparently. So yeah,
not straight from the corner.
No, his corner's come over. I've had the full commentary from it, and he's.
Bicycle.
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say it's a bicycle kick. I don't know if it is or not. We'll say that though. So yeah, he's got his first goal. Gutted because it's an early kick-off today, so I've missed his game for the first time. But buzzing for the kid. Hopefully they can get the win. They're still playing.
Brilliant. That's very good. Very well done to Mr. Ellis Mottershead there. What number is he? Has he got a number?
He's number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Lindelof style.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah.
Is Lindelof number 2? He is, isn't he? I didn't even know for a second. Speaking of Victor Lindelof, let's get into Manchester United's team straight away, shall we? We'll get the graphic up on the screen in just a minute as well. But Manchester United side to face the mighty Everton today. It is an unchanged team, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, it is. So
we'll go through it right now. So obviously we've got Onana in goal, and that means Diogo Dalot at right back. Then in centre backs we've got Raphael Varane. And, well, I don't even know which way around it's going to be, but we've obviously got Varane, we've got Evans.
Well, would it not be...
And we've got Lindelof as well.
So is it not... Is it Evans on the left, Varane on the right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it usually is, isn't it? So we're looking at Dalot at right back, Lindelof at left back, and then Evans and Varane in some configuration at centre backs. Then again, now we need to sort of work this out again. So it's a midfield. In terms of the midfielders on the pitch, we've got Bruno Fernandes, we've got Casemiro, we've got Mainu, and we've got McTominay.
Right, it's Casemiro and Mainu, almost like a double pivot in it, really. I know it's not quite. I think Mainu's slightly a bit more forward, but it's almost like a double pivot. McTominay in front of them two, and Bruno Fernandes, kind of like a right winger.
I would guess so, yeah. It looks like that, doesn't it? And then you've got Rashford and Garnacho on there as well, sort of making up the rest of.
So it's Garnacho on the left, Rashford down the middle, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. What do you make of that? Unchanged, a team that weirdly is going to be expected to do something massively different to what it did last week, this week, in terms of controlling the game, holding the ball.
Is the bench going on the bench?
Yep.
So talk us through the bench.
Me, who is someone I've never heard of.
Yep.
Cambuala Ogunay, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Ahmad, Amrabat, Collier, Ericsson, Anthony.
So whilst you could argue maybe, I know there's quite a lot of people that love Amad Diallo and want to see him start. It's not like that bench is full of players where you go, there's an obvious one that definitely 100% should be starting.
No.
Like, you haven't got a left back in the squad. I know that the manager spoke about that. He said how the medical team told him that Luke Shaw, in December, he said that I think Luke Shaw, the medical team told him Luke Shaw and Tyrone Malacia will be back. Obviously, both of them got injured, and that's why he felt he had enough to send Reguilon back to Spurs, but as it turns out, he shouldn't have done that. Amrabat as a left back has been a disaster. Well, not a disaster, but it's not happening for him, is it? So Lindelof at left back, I'm not a big fan. The one thing I will sort of say about this game is it will be easier than the City game.
Yeah.
Because in the City game, Lindelof, he didn't have the best second half in particular, but you're up against one of the best teams in the world. In Everton, you're up against one of the worst teams statistically in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So it should be an easier afternoon for him, and hopefully he can get the cover that he needs as well. And it didn't help as well in the derby that Johnny Evans went off injured, because I thought he was doing well. I think he went off at 1-1.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying if Evans stays on we win, I don't think we would have, but that hurt the team.
Yeah.
So, we were going into that game already weakened, and then to lose players during the game as well just weakened you even more against the City team that, as the game went on, they were just growing into it and getting more confident, obviously getting on the score sheet as well. So I feel better about this team starting this game than I did last week, obviously, because, like you say, Everton are just a far more beatable team than Manchester City are.
Yeah. He talked about injuries and stuff, and how Maguire, I think Højlund as well, should be back for next weekend.
Yeah.
But the injuries have been pretty much a disaster this season, haven't they? And we can separate the injuries and whether Ten Hag has done enough with the players he's had available as a result of those injuries. But just looking at the injuries themselves and not using that as an excuse for anything, it's been as bad as I can remember, to be honest. Other than sort of Rashford, who normally has a spell out with injury, where he hasn't really done that this season, it's been awful. The injury, especially for the defence, has just been absolutely cataclysmic, hasn't it? Like, the amount of times we've had our first choice defence starting, is it 2 or 3 times all season?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It has been bad, obviously. The thing is, right, it's not just necessarily the numbers of injury. I think we've had more players injured than anyone. I think it's us in Newcastle. I think we've got, in the league table of injuries, I think we've had 29 players out. They've had 28 or something.
Top of the league?
Yeah, I think in terms of minutes, they might have lost more minutes, but we've lost more players. But it's not just that, because you could have injuries, like you could have Bayandere out for a season. That's not going to affect you too much. It's the fact we've lost Lisandro Martinez for pretty much all season. We've lost Luke Shaw for about half the season, and now Rasmus Højlund as well, just at a time where Rasmus Højlund was scoring loads of goals. Then people have given up on him, but he is an option. Then Anthony Martial's out as well, especially for a game like this where his record against Everton's phenomenal. So you've got no sort of out-and-out striker, because for me, Marcus Rashford isn't. So it's not just the amount of players you're missing, it's the nature of those injuries. You're missing essential players. It's vital. Like, Lisandro Martinez is, for me, the most important player for an Eric Ten Hag team.
Yeah,
so to miss him for the entire season is devastating. To miss Luke Shaw is pretty devastating as well, especially when you're already missing Tyrone Malacia. You're missing Rasmus Højlund, and you're missing your backup striker, Anthony Martial. So it's not just the fact you're missing these key players. You're missing the person. Even Harry Maguire probably starts today.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, behind... He's like, if Martinez is out, you play Maguire, or you might play Shaw at left centre-back if you've got Malacia in your team. So you're missing your first choice and your second choice in a few positions as well. You've got your first and second choice left back, your first and second choice centre back, your first and second choice striker out. Yeah. So it is pretty devastating. But the one sort of slight criticism I've had with Everton, if it is a criticism, or when people might look at it and go, well, he's not covering himself in glory there, is some of the signings he's made haven't been good enough, and they're on the bench.
Yeah,
Amrabat hasn't been good enough, and he's on the bench. Anthony hasn't been good enough, and he's on the bench. There's a reason he can't turn to them players, because they're not up to it, and he bought him. So whilst I sympathise with the manager, and it's not his fault that he's injured, I don't put it down to training. I think he's just been very unlucky. Also, you have to say some of the players he's decided to bring in haven't been of the quality that you need for Manchester United.
Yeah, and the ones that have, have missed big portions of the season. Martinez in particular has been probably our best player when he's played, mostly, other than Rashford when he was in that ridiculous form last season. I think Martinez was our most consistent player last year, and he's missed the whole season pretty much, hasn't he? Like I said, even Casemiro, who's not been amazing since he came back, but is certainly better than the alternatives we currently have in the squad. He's missed a good chunk of the season. He's missed around a third of the season as well, with that couple of months he had out around Christmas. So it has been ludicrous. And Martinez in particular, I think it's like Rodri at City or Salah at Liverpool or Heung-min Son or Van de Ven or whoever it may be at Tottenham. There's players that even in the first team that matter more when they're injured than others. And I think in terms of influence, Martinez is by far the number one on our list. Yeah. What are you smiling at?
There's been a goal. There's been a second goal.
Fuck off!
A second goal.
No!
Alex Morissette has got his brace. He's got his second for Erlen Vale. Down at St Helens. Well done, son. Keep going. God, yes. Lad. So sorry if I was a bit distracted then. I've just been sent a bit of a video from it. So yeah, absolutely buzzing for the kid. Can we just look at the Everton team? Because I'm curious. I agree with everything you said, by the way. I want to see exactly who we're up against, because whilst I've been relatively dismissive of Everton, I think they've not won in 10 games, so I'm not going to pretend that they're some sort of juggernaut.
Yeah.
There are some dangerous players there, so I just want you to talk me through that team and just see who it is Victor Lindelof's got to be dealing with today and to, a lesser degree, everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, just first things first, the big face on the Everton graphic, it's no coincidence that it's James Garner there.
What tabs you've got there?
What? Amazon? No. Oh, wait, let me get rid of that one.
What's this say?
No, don't look at that. Shh.
Hey.
Sorry.
Big-breasted girls deserve to be punished.
No. It's Pickford, Mikalenko, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, Godfrey as their sort of back five. Then Onana, Garner, Doucouré, McNeil, Harrison, Beto. I hate to say this, and this isn't to say they can't beat us. That's a poor starting 11. That's not a good side. They've got some good players in there. I think obviously we know that Garner's a decent player, but Harrison, McNeil, and Beto as your front three is not scaring anyone. Branthwaite looks good, of course. I know he's a good player, but Tarkowski, Godfrey, Mikalenko, and then Onana, Doucouré. It's a sort of
I'll
big
be honest
midfield.
With you. I think Onana and Doucouré are decent.
Yeah,
and I think if Everton do, I don't think they will, but if they do go down, I can see them getting moves. Branthwaite, I could see getting a move somewhere. I think he's a very good defender. He's been linked with us, and Jared Branthwaite, and I can understand why. Garner, we know what he's capable of. He's decent on set pieces. He's a good player. But there's a lot of average players there.
Yeah.
If I'm being brutally honest. I saw Dwight McNeil, I think it was the West Ham game when they were 1-0 up Everton, and he had a chance from 4 yards out and he missed it. And when they bought McNeil, it was a bit of an odd one for me, because his record at Burnley had been, I think, he played every game, which is great, the best abilities, availability and all that. But I think he had no goals and 1 assist for a winger, which is pretty poor in a team that had been relegated. I think he left there when they've been relegated, or a team that at the very least has struggled. So you look at it going, okay, he's not someone who's going to have much of an impact attacking wise. Yes, he can do the defensive stuff, but I just feel with Everton they're a team that are struggling for obvious reasons, but you have to be wary of the fact, like you say, they have got some players there that can get on the end of things, and tall players who can be dangerous from set pieces. United are very, very dodgy at corners, for example.
Yep.
Wouldn't surprise me if Everton got a corner and scored from it, because Garner can whip in across, and someone like Onana or Doucouré can get on the end of it. Yeah. So United have to be careful on that, and even the likes of Tarkowski and someone can get his head on things. So we can't be too dismissive here, but I think we have to be honest about the opposition we're facing. You're facing an opposition that hasn't won in 10 games for a reason, and that's because the quality's not there. Yeah. Calvert-Lewin, who a few years ago was being touted as a potential United signing and someone who could
60-70 million player,
someone who Gareth Southgate should be looking at. I mean, he's not scored in about 3 months or something. It's a bit longer. I think he's having his worst goal drought ever, and he's a player who's obviously had injury issues, and now he's got fit. He can't score. So I don't want to sit here and go, well, Everton and Min, they're a dangerous team, because they're not. But you do have to respect the fact that, like any team we've faced this season, they're capable of getting a result. So
yeah, of course they are.
We've got to turn up.
Just looking at Calvert-Lewin, I know he's not on the pitch at the minute, but just as you mentioned him, in 2019-20 season, he got 15 goals in all comps. 2021 season, he got 21 goals in all comps. And since then, it's been 5 goals, 2 goals last season, and 4 goals this season. Admittedly, he only played 18 games each for the last 2 seasons, so it's injury-ravaged seasons. But, you know, he's not someone that's pushed on. I just think, again, I don't mean this as a disrespect to Everton, because they can beat us, obviously. I'm not sitting here saying that it's impossible, because I've learnt my lesson from saying that when we played Sheffield United about 3 years ago, and we lost. So I said, there is no way United are losing today, and we lost. And that was when we were sort of kind of remotely pushing for a title. So that, you know, anyone can beat anyone, but there's just no excuse. There's just no reason to think this team shouldn't be beating Everton. There really isn't. If they work even remotely to their potential, this team has got too much quality, surely.
I think you talk about, we used the term no excuse on the preview, and we spoke about it, and we've spoken about it a lot. With this game in particular, you spoke about it today, and we chatted about it during the week. And I think certain players have got to step. There's a couple of players step up. There's a couple of players or 3 players in particular I want to see step up today, and that's Casemiro, Marcus, and Bruno. And the reason I'm sort of saying those 3 is Mainu. He's a kid. He's done well. You know, I've been massively impressed. Garnacho, I think, is having a decent season. Again, he's a teenager. The 3 players that I mentioned, the senior players, been around for a long time. Casemiro might not have been at United for a long time, but he's won everything in the game. And I think his career at United, to be honest, has been a bit patchy. I think Bruno isn't having the greatest season. He's always still capable of producing that little bit of magic, though. And Marcus, he's had his detractors, but as we saw in the derby, he can score the kind of goals and do the kind of things that not anyone else can't do. We just need to see it on a more consistent level. This is the ideal opportunity for those players to step up now at home against the struggling Everton side and put in a performance and just settle some nerves as well.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of nervousness around United. It's like, what's happening this season? Are we going to get Champions League football? Are we going to win anything? Are we going to end up, finishing 8th or whatever? Is the manager going to get sacked? What's going on? Are we going to extend this awful record we've got so far? Yeah. Are we going to get another defeat? We just need to settle some nerves. Go out like we did at Goodison. That was one of our better performances.
Yeah.
Put in a performance, get a result, have a nice, comfortable win. Let the fans leave Old Trafford at 2:30 this afternoon with a smile on their faces, and let's just have a little bit of a chilled one, rather than drama and questions and moodiness and arguing on social media and meltdowns and screaming into a camera about everyone's rubbish and they've all got to go.
That's me, by the way.
Yeah, let's just
not with me at the end of the game.
The kind of afternoon that we used to take for granted at Manchester United, where Everton would come, we'd beat them, and they'd go home, and that'd be the end of that. There wouldn't be any drama about it. I think there's no excuses. We should be able to do that. And those 3 players I've mentioned in particular should be a big part of that today. I'm not going to give him any leeway. I'm not going to say, it is a tricky one for him. No, it's not.
No.
It's not. Go out there, show us what you're about, and get us a result.
Yeah.
Abdullah's with us.
How do you, mate?
Yeah. He's always the voice of reason.
I see you there analysing the data, analysing the substructure that football itself is built on.
Do we want you to be honest?
Do you want me to be honest?
Well, it depends. If you're going to be negative, no.
Yeah.
It's not about being negative. I was checking my FPL.
You're checking your what?
FPL.
Are you one of them, right, that sits there in the Stretford end and goes, well, Mo Salah might have got an hat-trick against us, but at least I've got him in my team. Yeah. You're one of those people that everyone hates.
When it settles in you a bit, you just give it a...
Yeah.
Do you know we're watching here. Sorry to interrupt you, Abdullah. Are you watching this, Alexi? Is Alexi there?
Oh.
Social media guy, Alexi's got his Wayne Rooney top on. We're just watching Wayne Rooney's hat-trick.
Why is it so hot in here, lads? Sorry.
It's not,
I'm freezing.
I'm freezing.
Are you serious?
I'm getting wafted by some cold air.
Don't be messing with that heating.
No, leave it as it is. Leave it as it is.
Getting burned.
How you feeling, Abdul, before this game? United have it. Someone just quickly, someone in the comments says, Joe, we don't have a left back or a striker. Too much quality, because I said there's too much quality to be. Our backup, no offence, and again, we could lose, but their left back is Ben Godfrey. Like, Victor Lindelof isn't any worse than him. And our striker, when we've got no striker, is fucking Marcus Rashford.
Can I ask you a question? Genuinely. Mm-hmm. Why are you smirking at me?
Because you said genuinely,
Genuinely, honestly. Who out of the Everton team gets in the United team today?
All right, so...
be honest.
Funnily enough, I was actually thinking about this when I looked at the team. So that's
great minds.
We can rule the front 3 out right now, can't we? Harrison, Beto, McNeil, they're not replacing any of ours.
genuinely think Dakare could get in.
Maybe.
Right,
yeah,
okay,
I could see
okay.
that.
Because of the way we're playing right
Yeah.
now with McTominay,
Yeah.
I think he offers a bit more on the ball.
I'll give you
Right,
that.
okay.
Onana.
Yeah, I like
I think we're
Onana.
linked
But
to
they're
him.
not both getting in over Mainu and Casemiro.
Well, are they?
Well, I'm saying one of them could get in.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Right.
Which one then?
I
Ahead
would
of
say
McTominay?
more Onana.
What are you doing then? Who are you
Well-rounded.
taking out? Go on.
Out of our team?
Take McTominay out.
McTominay out, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you take McTominay out, you put Onana in,
At the
right?
back,
Yeah.
Bramthwaite.
Who for?
Ahead of Evans.
Do you know what? John Evans has been good this season.
Go on, go on. No, don't listen to him. Go on.
All right. I'd
You
say-
do you, and he can
No,
do it.
yeah, Bramthwaite ahead of Evans. I'm not
Okay.
going to be deluded.
Okay.
Tarkowski, no. Michaelenko, yes. Over
Oh.
Lindelof.
Okay. Okay.
Obviously the low side. So yeah, I'd say it's only like 2 or 3.
Right. No, I think that's fair. So going back to the comments, but even with the injuries we've got, there's still only 3 players at a push.
Yeah.
Because you'd have the low Lindelof, wouldn't you, over?
Oh, is it Mikalenko but left back? Maybe.
Maybe.
I
It's paper-
think
paper thin
probably,
managers.
yeah. But I also, I think,
Michaelenko's actually been all right.
I think right now I would have Evans over Branthwaite as well. I think obviously going forward,
Yeah.
I think Branthwaite in the squad over Evans makes sense because he's a lot younger. The potential's there. But in this game right now, I wouldn't swap him. Do you know what I mean? I think the quality is probably similar, but you know, I think United need people like Johnny Evans who know the club, who respect the club.
Now-
I know Abdul's not trying to get rid of Johnny Evans. I get what the question is, but it's close, isn't it? It's all close.
It's like, again, and also the sort of flip side to this argument before people start saying it in the chat and the comments, because I'd be saying it myself if I was watching, is Fulham probably didn't have a lot of players that get in our team. Bournemouth probably didn't have loads of players that got in our team,
Yeah, of
and they
course.
beat us. Palace, Brighton. So I get that argument is somewhat flawed. My point is, I'm going back to what the commenter was saying to you is, even with the injuries we've got, we've still got a strong enough team that you look at it and go, on paper, we should be able to beat Everton. Like, there's no way. I'm not
No
looking at a
excuse.
team and going, it's full of kids.
The thing
that
is,
have never played for
the
Manchester
thing is
United
with United this season is every game is either 50-50 when you look at how the game's been played, or the other team's edged it. Like
Yeah.
it feels like the other team's always in the game, and that goes to Newport as well. I know we missed a load of chances against them, but we were constantly open through the centre of the park. It's the same problem. So it doesn't matter who's starting. I think even in that West Ham game, obviously we had Lissandro back, who were looking a bit better on the ball, playing out from the back. We looked like more of a threat. But that first 20 minutes against West Ham, we were getting battered.
Yeah.
We were lucky that they didn't score. So for me, this whole injuries and only has a certain level. Like, I think, yes, we can't play the football we can play to a certain extent. But what are you laughing at?
Rio looks
Really?
like he's part of the firm. Why is he like come dressed in black? He looks like he's ready to, steam into some Everton fans.
Why do you guys have a City player in here?
What? You guys? What?
Yeah.
What do you mean, you guys? No, go on. Elaborate there.
Rio? Bring
But-
in
Bringing
City
Kyle
players.
Walker in
Yeah.
and that.
Right. What's Rio bringing Kyle Walker got to do with me?
I don't know. I wouldn't have let him in.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
you
so
not?
You had me in on the wrong
sure
end.
I've seen- I'm sure I've seen you working with City players
I'm
and
having a conversation
interviewing
with you.
and schmoozing
You
with
lying
the
little
City
bastard.
fans.
Where you
Players.
said, I'd tell you something about Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's all right. I was working with you the other day.
I didn't say it. So first of all, I've never said that because I've never worked with Trent.
Right, yeah,
we
you
did
have.
do something with Trent.
Yeah,
but it
look,
wasn't me.
Trent, see how he talks about him as well. Trent.
No.
His name's Trent Alexander-Arnold.
No,
You're not
it
his
was
mate.
Jack Grealish.
Oh, even worse. See what I mean?
Jack
So
Grealish is a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Hate Kyle Walker though. No, I'm
Kyle
joking.
Walker's
He's
decent
class.
player though, isn't he?
That I've watched a bit of that. To be fair, it was pretty good.
Also, he
Nice
said like
content.
some nice things about Rashford and that, and he was
Yeah.
like, apparently he was,
Nah,
he was a
I'm
decent
joking.
guy. I didn't meet him. I refused to come down here when he was there.
Yeah,
I've got time for that.
genuinely.
Yeah.
You're upstairs.
Have you ever met me, Abdul? Do you know how bitter I am? I'm just a bitter, angry, sad man. So no, I'm not going to come here and...
Yeah, when it comes to football, you are, but in general, you seem like a lovely bloke. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
It's the right way.
Yeah.
We've got a few.
No, I didn't bother.
We've got a few quotes.
You didn't either, did you?
I didn't meet him.
No,
But
we didn't.
mine wasn't out of principle. Mine was just.
You didn't get invited.
I just went and grabbed
Be
my
honest.
lunch instead.
We wanted to eat.
You just
We're
didn't
busy.
get invited, bro. Be
Busy
honest.
in that.
Yeah, there was that as well. We were
I
asked
didn't-
to come.
You can't uninvite me.
Yeah, like literally, it's our studio. If you want to come in here, I'll come in.
Yeah,
Don't
if I want to
worry
be on
about
the
that.
podcast, I'll be on it.
You know what I mean?
But I just
Yeah,
didn't- I
we'll
just
take
didn't
over.
fancy
We'll
it.
just take the cameras out. I'll enjoy your podcast now with no cameras.
Best podcast is that Sloppy Joe's. Whatever.
Yes.
Whoever does
Yeah,
that, that's
yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
Ethan
decent.
and Joe McGrath are so funny, aren't they?
Sure.
Hey.
We've got some quotes.
Not this guy. You just
We've got some quotes
Sideman.
from Eric Ten Hag, I believe. I don't know because this one doesn't have a name attached to it. I assume it's Eric Ten Hag. He said, "We are comfortable, but we have to defend together. We've seen against Liverpool and last week against City, we can defend the box very well." Did it feel like we were defending the box very well when City had an XG of 3 going into
Let's
half
be
time?
right though. Let's have it right though, which is a sentence I often say.
Yeah, let's have it right.
Let's have it right. For a spell, we were defending the box quite well.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very long.
No.
There was a point where the tactic seemed to be working because Evans and Varane were dealing with everything in the air. Doku wasn't making the most. Don't know Doku. No,
That's
is
him from Back to the Future. isn't it?
Doku. What? That's Biff.
No, the
Doc Brown.
Yeah.
That's a class film.
Doco Brown. And
He wasn't making the most of his opportunities, was he? And then Haaland fluffed his lines when he had a very, very easy chance. So it wasn't like the tactic worked perfectly, but it was effective to a degree. But there's only so many times you can let City keep having the ball and keep attacking and keep creating chances.
I was having a discussion with someone about that game specifically yesterday, and just like trying to explain also the effectiveness of the difference in how forwards need to operate. Like if Foden played for us in that game, he would have massively struggled.
yeah.
Whereas like with City, because they just box you in and the ball bounces straight back, because they just keep you in that area.
Yeah.
With us, like just looking back at it, like Rashford and Garnacho had to cover like so much space up and down the pitch, and it's like we couldn't. Any chance we were gonna make was gonna be through that break.
I've never seen. Do you know what? Right, just looking then, it's showing the Everton against West Ham, the penalty they missed, and the Everton attackers, like I've never seen attackers like that before. Just didn't look like they're interested in trying to get that rebound. You know, like you have the attackers on the edge of the box,
Yeah,
obviously, don't you? As soon as the keeper
flying in
saves it,
after,
everyone just. And it looked like, I don't know,
I don't know what it is, but I feel like
they didn't
back
believe
in
they
the
could
day-
get there, they just couldn't be bothered.
I know someone done it the other day. I forgot what game it was. I think I was watching Napoli and Osimhen missed a penalty and then someone scored it. But I feel like back in the day, I used to see a lot more rebounded like goals off penalties.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I see it a lot.
I think
maybe because they're strict with the rules on like players entering the box.
People
and
used
stuff.
to a lot more Jersey dudecking it anyway. You stood like 3 yards off your line and you get away with it.
Yeah.
So it's easy to save. But I remember there was one for Ajax. I think it was it Cruyff to just bro somebody. And didn't Arsenal do it as well, passing the penalty?
Yeah, Henry. But didn't they mess it up?
They
They
fucked
messed it up.
didn't they?
But there's one for Ajax where they scored it.
That was a sick Arsenal shirt, by the way. Much as I hate him.
What, the
That
maroon
0-2,
one?
your maroon one, yeah. Proper throwback, that.
We've got a few super chats. Alex Luanu, or I don't know if it's an L or an I because it's a capital. I think it's an I. Alex Iwanu says, any chance McTominay up front and Bruno in the 10? I don't think so. He's not. Whenever he's always done Rashford up front, and since Hoyland's been injured, it's been Rashford up top every time. So I don't think it'll be McTominay.
At City, it was a bit almost like Bruno was a bit of a false nine sometimes.
Yeah, I think he had that, but I think that's because we've done it a few times against City where we try and
Split strikers.
have width and have with the split strikers, haven't we? I think we did it. With
I
Solskjaer
don't
as
think
well.
that was a bad idea because I know obviously the thing is Marcus probably takes the most difficult of the chances, but if he takes the right touch, obviously he's headed it down, that's quite unfortunate, so that can happen. But the chance that he has where Bruno finds him on the right, that's the one where I'm like, I wish he just took the touch in and then shot with his left foot, you know, the chance where it goes to the back post. But that comes off Bruno being in that area, and I feel them two, I'll continue to say this every time I'm on here, but Man United, when they've been struggling over the last couple of years under Ollie and whatnot, once they've gone away from keeping them to, you know, go in front of goal and getting them to play closer to each other, and, you know, Bruno just hitting the space into Marcus Rashford's always been an effective way for Manchester United playing over that period of time, and I feel they feel so far apart on the pitch sometimes. In that City game, there was a couple of opportunities where Bruno could hit him, so that would be interesting if Bruno's playing in that area today. That probably benefits Marcus Rashford and Garnacho's game as well, because they're quite direct, getting behind defences. So that'll be quite interesting to see how that plays, because Everton won't be giving us the space City gave us, obviously, on the break.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting how that plays out. But I've always wanted to see how Bruno would operate in a bit of a false nine role, especially last season when we had Vegas like in midfield and shit.
Do you remember when he came, Bruno? There's so many games where he was like the furthest forward on the pitch for us.
Yeah.
Like that first
second
season.
striker.
Yeah.
No, but that's where he was most dangerous.
And then you used to have Martial and Rashford or whoever dropping off. And there was times
It
where Bruno
worked
would be like almost, not quite, but almost leading the line.
Funnily enough, I think the year before we signed Bruno, I was doing some like transfer stuff with Steve over the summer before, and I think we're like,
We're working with him for.
Mate, he was the first one, mate. We're the OGs, if you know,
Loser.
this building.
Before Cal Walker was here, we were here.
Yeah, we were here.
Hey,
We
do you know
never
what I mean?
allowed City players in here. Until Steve done it now, but yeah. I remember it was the summer before. I think we were looking at like Dybala, Bruno. It was like sort of second strikers,
Paulo
number
Dybala
10.
there was one. He scored the other day, didn't he, against Brighton?
He's one of my favourite like non-United players, man.
Really?
We've always
I
loved
love
it.
Dybala.
Whenever we
Always
spoke about
loved
him,
him.
always
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
to United.
Love Dybala, man.
Yeah.
He's, do you know what? He's playing off a pure number 9. He's class like Lukaku, Tammy. Over the years, even at Juve and Morata and stuff like Higuain, he's just so good playing off that 9. But I remember we linked to him and I looked at Bruno's game. This was the year before I would sign him, and he was just, in terms of his, I think it was 6 months actually before we signed him, because we signed him in Jan, didn't we, 2020.
Yeah.
I think he just operated almost as a second striker a lot of the time at Sporting, which people see him as a pure 10, but that's where he's most effective. And I think when he first joined, it was something I highlighted quite a lot actually, and because he's got that goal scoring sense, and I think Ollie managed to get that a bit out of him, and ever since Ollie's gone, I feel that's been taken out of his game. He's had to drop deep. Sometimes it looks like he's playing DM. Sometimes it looks like he's playing 10. Sometimes it looks like he's playing on the right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's not in the most effective area. When we had Eddie Cavani and Marcus Rashford playing off him and Pogba and stuff in that period as well, he'd be in and around them zones a lot more. And I think Man United, again, it's just... Rennie Millerstein the other day was on, I think, one of them Twitter call things, and one of the lads that runs like a big United account asked him a great question, and I think answering that about the way Sir Alex played and stuff, and he highlighted how important it was to have really like sort of not show the weaknesses of your players as much. When you watch Man United, the strengths don't come out and the weaknesses really come out under Ten Hag, and that's always a very bad sign for me. I said this from the start of the season. I think you look at Marcus Rashford, you look at Bruno Fernandes, you look at a lot of the players that have had decent patches in this team, a lot of their strengths aren't showing. And the same thing with Onana. We're still playing so deep. When you look at Onana in that Champions League final against City, he was incredible. Not just saving shots, but starting attacks for Inter Milan. And we've sort of the whole point of moving away from David De Gea was to move away from playing that certain level of football. Now, I understand Lissandro's not playing and stuff, but it all ultimately goes back to what Carragher, funnily enough, said that day. And I've been saying this, I've never seen a team play like this, like Man United. They play so deep as a defence, and then you got the attacking line that's meant to be aggressive and on the front foot and pressing. And obviously Marcus Rashford's not the best of pressers, obviously, in the game, we know that. But it's the same thing if you had an Mbappe or a Vinny or Leao. You expect those type of players, that's the package you get with them, like these like players that will sort of wait for that moment or getting behind a defence. So we're already lacking, I think, in that area. Outside of Højlund and Garnacho, you've not got the best pressers, and Anthony, obviously, but he's not good enough to start. And the midfield, they just get lost. Like 1 or 2 passes and you're in every time. So I think overall, everyone's weaknesses really show. Like I said, from Marcus Rashford's perspective there with the pressing factor, you've got Onana in goal because we're so deep and it's so congested. It makes it so much more complicated. And I think Erik Ten Hag had to be braver for me this season. He had to try and play his football this season. He got us to a level. I understand the injuries and stuff, but he got us to a level last season when we made top 4, made the Champions League, and we've seen hints of us playing decent football in patches, especially around the period. If you remember, we drew to Crystal Palace away, but I thought that was actually one of our better performances with the ball. Yeah, like we looked really dominant, we looked strong, and obviously we end up drawing the game. And even in that period, we had a couple of injuries. And I remember Casemiro then goes out. We go to Arsenal, and with all the injuries, we still had a good game. Like this season, I think Erik Ten Hag's biggest issues, he had to be braver. And when you watch us, it doesn't make any sense because he's playing so deep with the defensive line and so high up with the attacking line. We just get left with the space. And it was highlighted the other day on that Monday Night Football, and the same thing where, like, I think Carragher done that one as well. And it was where Cobby's always got a man behind him, free. And he doesn't know whether to go or not. And I said this the whole season as well, like against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich away is the perfect example of what's gone wrong at Man United this season, because you watch 3 midfielders in that team and there's no anchor in midfield. Casemiro ends up in the opposition's box, and then like Bruno's picking the ball up off Onana, and then 2 seconds later Bruno's up there playing the 10.
But so how is it that Ten Hag isn't seeing this then?
That's the big question in it, because this is a
get.
debate that we always have.
Like, I know it's a bit basic, and it's like, well, it's so shit, he must know it's shit. I know that some people are just shit and they don't know the shit. Yeah. But like this thing of having an attacking line that presses really high and tries to win the ball back off their centre backs and full backs and goalkeeper, and then a defensive line that's 10 yards in your own half at the same time. Yeah. But like that's, first of all, obviously stupid. Second of all, is being proven week in, week out to be stupid. Third of all, is now being pointed out by the biggest pundits, presenters, Twitter accounts, newspapers. Everyone who's commenting on Manchester United are talking about this giant gap in midfield. It's also being backed up by the numbers and the stats of we're conceding 20 shots a game, 90 fucking counter-attacks per game, whatever it may be. Is Ten Hag either A, the only person in the UK who doesn't see this, or B, they're not doing what he's saying they're doing? Because is he just a fucking idiot all of a sudden? Honestly,
I'll be honest.
Get it. I know
it's a fair question, though.
No, it's a right question, because it baffles me every week. What Carragher genuinely, like, I put it in the group chat with my mates, and I said this is literally what I said days before Carragher said it. He's literally said the same line. Like, it's confusing to me.
Not to diss you. I know you've been saying it for a while,
but it's in like it felt like it took so long for the mainstream to pick it up. I was so frustrated throughout the season, because we come in and we all say it like, are we trying to defend? Are we trying to attack? And that question's never been levelled at Ten Hag. And it's the question there is, I think it's a bit of both. I think the players aren't taking instructions well. But you've got to know your players' strengths and weaknesses. This goes back to the point. There's a lot. This is the same story with every time. It's like, I understand that players need to follow what the manager wants. But currently what the manager wants is he's showing us is we're playing this disjointed way of football. So that's when you take that away from the players, because that's the football. He clearly wants that defensive line to be that deep.
But then also, if you look at some of the sort of the tenets of the top teams who play the style that we think Ten Hag wants to play, roughly speaking, quite a high line, high pressing, playing out from the back, one-touch football, direct football. They're the things that we hear him say over and over again. There's more to it than that, obviously, but just in terms of some quick bullet points, I think, obviously, feel free to disagree, but those seem to be the things that he wants to play with. Mm-hmm. I think you mentioned before about Rashford's inability or lack of willingness to press. That hurts trying to play like that. You mentioned as well, you didn't mention, our defence's ability to play first-time passes and quick football isn't great. I think Lindelof is good. He can find a pass over long distance, but his first-time quick stuff isn't particularly good. I don't think Maguire's or Varane's is either. Then you look at the midfield. They're not, Mainu is young and he's athletic in the sense of he's got an engine on him, but he's not a quick sort of ground gobbling kind of midfielder like you see from some of the other teams. Do you think that we're seeing some of the limitations of the squad rather than Ten Hag not playing to their strengths? Actually, we're just seeing some of their weaknesses, because let's say compare this team to Arsenal. When I watch them press, Martinelli, whoever's playing up front, it's often Havertz at the minute in that kind of false nine kind of role, and Saka press like three fucking sharks going.
No, but you know the reason. One of the main reasons.
No,
but one of the main reasons that they press like that is because the pressing distance that they've got to make is so much shorter than Man United. You know when this angered me the most is Newcastle away. BT is sat there and they're like, Man United's wingers. Don't get me wrong, like body language and stuff like that, and like I'm fucking sick and tired of hearing that shit, because it's just getting boring, because it's just analysing the same thing. There's no value in the analysis that we hear on some of these channels. But Man United's wingers spent the whole game tracking the fullback from Newcastle's half back into Man United's box. That's not how a top team plays. I don't give a shit what Ten Hag says. Don't give a shit what these pundits say. When you ask your wingers to do that throughout the game, your Mbappe's, your Vinicius's, your Leao, the reason that they're such a threat in these games is that there's always that option of going forward, and they're always higher up as a team. When I look at it from Arsenal's angle, Martinelli, when you've got your fullback behind you a lot higher up, your centre backs are higher up. The pressing distance is so much closer. And when I highlighted that Newcastle game is because Anthony Gordon was getting highlighted as if, look at his willingness. The ball bounces back there and he's there. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the distance is different. And I mentioned this at the start of the show with Manchester City, and when I was talking about Foden, I said Foden would have struggled had he played for Man United last weekend. This is what people don't understand. What you're saying about these players' weaknesses and stuff like that impacting the way that Ten Hag wants to play, I agree with that. But there's ways for you to get around that as a good manager. Klopp has had his team ripped to shreds in injuries.
Yeah.
Absolutely ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
And the structure and what he wants to implement has stayed. Now, I understand that's about 6, 7, 8 years or whatever of him having a certain way and a certain style of play. But a lot of them young players that have come in for the first time. And Liverpool have stuck to what they're trying to do, stuck to their principles. I think Erik ten Hag hasn't stuck to his principles. The talk that he has and says, he goes, I've come in here to play the Man United way. I'm sorry, but when we hired him, I wanted to see the way that he played with the way at Ajax.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about this over-analysing this Man United way of playing. And okay, I understand that. Like, there is a feel to that, don't get me wrong. I think sometimes the manager needs to have the right way that fans are used to watching at Old Trafford in terms of the way we attack and stuff. But you come in, you're not even doing that. It's so disjointed. Like I said, the first thing is that defensive line. We are not playing a high line. Don't tell me you're trying to play a high line and we don't play a high line. Within 2-3 passes, teams are in behind anyways. Yeah. So just play the fucking high line.
Also, you see, when I watched, I mean, Sheffield United, me and Jay would have beaten, but the way Arsenal...
What are you shaking your head at?
The way Arsenal exploited and exposed Sheffield United's lack of confidence, lack of quality. Arsenal were, I thought, fantastic in that game the other day. Even the first 90 seconds, they got in behind, pulled the ball back and almost scored. I thought, this is going to be a bloodbath, and it was. But you watch United against us, I think it was Thierry Henry analysed it post-match, how high their line was. They've got the ball. Their centre-backs are... Obviously, this is when we're sat back, so, you know, even United would have a high line in that situation. But their last man was further forward than the edge of our side of the centre circle. Do you know what I mean? They're like 15 yards into our half.
How does that impact? And I said this last season with Erik ten Hag as well, by the way, because this is an issue that I picked up with the way we were playing last season. Is it's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
And this was more highlighted, and I put a lot of that on David De Gea, and I was wrong, and I think a lot of that was down to the way that Erik ten Hag was actually playing. I thought with Onana coming, that will actually impact it, and it's a bit of a domino effect.
Do you think in the sense that we've gained Onana but we've lost Martinez, do you think we're almost back to where we were last season in terms of the ability to do that?
When we played Lissandro, we still played that deep. If I'm honest, like, it's not an excuse. Like, we played against Wolves earlier in the season. Wolves ripped us to shreds, and it was the same problem. The midfield got bypassed easily. They got in behind our defence. Wolves battered us at Old Trafford. We got lucky by winning that game. So, for me, Lissandro's impact this season, we've lost him in terms of the way we want to play from the back. But the issue with the system is still there. When I say it's a domino effect, is because it goes back to the point that I mentioned about City and Arsenal earlier. They box teams in. So when the ball bounces back, say if it was a Garnacho or Marcus Rashford playing for Arsenal, they're already basically in a position where they're set to go at the fullback because they're not having to hold the touchline and play so far deep. Don't get me wrong, you've got to come out to the touchline, you've got to come inside, you've got to make intelligent runs.
They made that a lot of the time when they were on the ball. Doku was sort of in the gap between the 18-yard box and the touchline, holding that width so they had an outlet, but it wasn't at the expense of their ability to push the defenders when we had the ball.
And it's what's behind those forwards as well. Like when Man United, everything's disjointed. It's like that space. Everyone talks about pressing and willingness and plays. When I watch Manchester United over the years, when it's gone wrong with managers, I see teams where players generally down tools and players not giving a shit.
Yeah.
I don't see that with this team. I genuinely don't. I think you see that, in a couple of moments that you mentioned with like pressing and tracking your man and blah, 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 which a lot of teams will have them issues. Don't get me wrong. But as a team, I don't look at this Man United team and say, these lot are down tools. I can't lie to you. I look at this Man United team and think, these lot don't have a clue what this manager wants to do. Or, which is for what's more evident to me, is the manager hasn't got a clue with what he's doing with this team.
Is that worse though? Or is that better?
It's worse because it's more on the manager.
The players aren't playing for him, or the players don't know what they're meant to be doing. I mean, it's equally shit to me.
But then, and as well as that, if they haven't down tools, which let's say they haven't, and they did under other managers, what's making them not down tools but still be willing to play a system that is so clearly failing them? That's what I don't get. What the down tools under Solskjaer when we were about sixth, when we were 6th or 7th when he got sacked.
Something like
that.
It's not as bad as you think.
I
really,
think
where we were when he got sacked.
We're in the same position now, 15 games further on or whatever than Solskjaer was given, and the players seemingly haven't down tools, so they weren't willing to go with Solskjaer's tactics, that got them to this point, but they are willing to go with seemingly more disjointed tactics under Ten Hag.
I think the thing is,
I don't get any of it.
A lot of these players aren't here anymore that we talk about down in tools. Like, this team has, I think Casemiro, Martinez coming in and that energy.
That's a class angle.
About setting the standard. It's this whole, I think Rio had spoken to Eric Ten Hag about, setting the standards and who does it in training. Like Rafa Varane, Lissandro, Bruno, Casemiro, Like, I think that setup is slightly different, and that helps. Like, when I'm watching us, genuinely, like, I could see players just lost. And yes, you can blame a lot of the time certain aspects on players, but you don't make it to this level being an absolute dafty, like, in terms of, like, you don't know which man you got and things. No, a lot of these guys have played at the highest level of football, World Cup finals, Champions League finals, titles.
Yeah.
Played big competitions, played under different managers. Like, and for me, when I watch this Ten Hag setup, it just comes to the fact that his structure is disjointed. This is the first thing I look at as a manager. Yeah. If we were playing a compact system, we're trying to play aggressively, high up as a team, with a high line, then I'd say that. And I think Man United's overall problem, to sum it up, is the compactness as well. But that sums it up for me. Like, Villa, the reason Villa have had such a good season is when you watch them, they're so compact as a team. Like, when they're in that low sort of defensive line.
This is what Jamie Carragher was saying, right? And I'm loath to sit here and compliment or agree with him, but I'm not going to disagree with him just because he's a Scouser. Yeah. He was saying the truth, and you've just said it there, Abdullah, and I completely agree with you. And he was saying about the compactness, about that's basic, and that's one of the things.
No team has ever been successful by not being compact.
And like, I don't look at Jamie Carragher and think he's a tactical genius. You obviously do your own work, and I fully expect you to know your stuff, but I expect the United managers to know as much as you, if not a lot more, and Jamie Carragher. So you're seeing it. Everyone I speak to who's got half a clue can see these sort of pretty basic things. And it just goes back to that, the argument I can't shake from, that you asked the question at sort of beginning when you was asking Abdullah is this manager just not seeing this? Or is he just seeing it and thinking, it don't matter? Like, I can't
think there is an answer to that.
Compute what is going on, because everyone sees the issue. Like, the issues we've got. You've mentioned it there. Disjointed. I hear the same words, and it's not just people pulling out buzzwords, because you just explained it as comprehensively as I've ever heard anyone explained it. Like, what we're doing when it comes to pressing, what we're doing with this disjointedness, the gaps we've got between midfield and midfield and defence, the lack of compactness you've got in your defence. It's the same argument everyone is saying. Everyone's going, look, you can see this, and it's not like you can see it. The Wolves game, you could have gone, that's an outlier. Bad day at the office. Martinez not 100% fit. Onana's first game. Players coming back from the summer. We had a pretty hectic pre-season. Maybe there's an element of just fatigue or whatever.
You just put the concerns in the back of your mind.
You can, Forest, the same almost, a few games later.
It's a bit of a fluke how they got 2-0 up and like, control the game.
You're making excuses.
Spurs started the game, we could have
we should have had a penalty. But by the time you get to Christmas, and it's still happening, and by this time, you've lost to Brighton, you've lost to Palace, you've lost to Galatasaray, you've lost to Copenhagen. You might go, hang on a minute, there might be something in this. There might be something going wrong. We're now in March. Top 4 is looking almost done. We're kind of thinking maybe we can get in by the back door in the 5th place. Champions League, we didn't get out of the group. We didn't get into Europa. Carabao got knocked out at home to Newcastle. And this isn't a Newcastle who's flying this season. They're struggling themselves. Yeah. Yet they absolutely battered us. I mean, you look at it and you go, it's not working. Whatever we're doing isn't working. And yet, there doesn't really seem to be too much happening to fix it.
How much do you think is impacted from the analytics team and the people behind Eric Ten Hag that are sitting around with the computer screens and doing on it? Genuinely, because that could have such a big impact.
I don't know what data they're looking at, because, when you look at the things that affect whether a team wins or not, it's your ability to stop the opposition creating chances and your ability to create chances. Fundamentally, however you go about it, they're the two things that matter. Stop them scoring and score yourself. That is obviously, that's just fucking the basics, the literal basics of football. But when you look at our ability to stop opposition making chances, not only do we concede a lot of chances, but the XG and the number of shots that we concede are as high as almost anyone in the league. You look at the number of goals we score, and it's the lowest of anyone in the top half.
We don't create a consistent level of high quality chances.
We don't hold the ball in big games at all. We haven't beaten the top teams. Like, understand what metrics and what data they could be falling back on to go, you know what, things are all right. And if you just want the overall metrics, like you said, we're out of the Carabao, we're out of the Champions League, we're shit in the Premier League. The only thing that's going for us is that we're still in the FA Cup. But even then, we've made a meal of that. I just don't get it.
Newport County was a stretch.
Yeah.
Like, we were 2 goals up, we let them back in the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but it's amazing to me that a team that was 17th in League 2 gave us issues. There'd be a time when you'd struggle to pick a United team that wouldn't batter a League 2 team. And now it's like we have to sort of scrape through. I mean, I don't like being negative about United, right? But this isn't MUTV. I say this all the time. We call it as we see it. And we've sat here, me and you, and we've watched game after game after game after game where United have been poor. Now, City, I can almost forgive it, even though it hurts more than most results, because I'm looking at a team that is one of the best in the world, if not the best, playing a United team that not only was going into the game with injuries, but got injuries during the game. So it was a severely weakened team, and I honestly think, you make this point all the time, and I think you're right, sometimes there isn't an 11 you can pick that wins a certain game. You're just beyond you, and I think that might have been one of those. Even though it's not good enough, the second half performance, I can sort of excuse it somewhat. Can't excuse the Fulham game, can't excuse the Bournemouth game, can't excuse the Brighton game, can't excuse the Newcastle game at home or away, can't excuse the Galatasaray game. There's so many games where I just go, there's zero excuses here. It's just poor. It's a poor performance.
Can I get some super chats? Chic Game has been a member for 19 months. Says 2-0 Rashford. 2-0 win Rashford to score. Love the content as always. Up the paddock. Jamie O'Sullivan. Thank you for joining the memberships. Wilhelm Tanner says Ty chokes on DT's Willie.
Oh,
what's that all about?
Yeah, what's that all about? Ty chokes on DT's Willie. Super chat. We read that out for you. Don't read that out. There was stupidness. It's a super chat. You got to read it out.
I'm Batman. There you go. I'm Batman with a super chat. I think he got what he wanted there. It says genuinely. Exclamation mark. I'm not sure what that's in relation to. United for the win. Up the paddock. Thank you. Akash Solomon says, I watched the training session in San Diego last summer and we looked cohesive and thought we were going to win the lot. Boy, oh boy. Jay Hart says, sorry boys. Wow, just met Edwin van der Sar at the bar I work at in Melbourne.
Greatest United goalkeeper ever.
Living in an effing dream state right now. That's incredible. Especially as well if you're not expecting it and you live in Australia. You would never think you're going to bump into Edwin van der Sar when you go to work, would you?
That's sick.
That's unbelievable.
That's like that. That's the type of
he's the sort of person I'd love to meet.
The big question, right? If I met Edwin van der Sar, the one question I want to ask him, and I've watched,
kiss me, Edwin?
Other than will you kiss me, Edwin? And I've watched the footage literally about 1,000 times, and I still can't tell. Were you smiling when Anelka took that penalty? Because if you look at him, it looks like he might be smiling.
Like he knows what's coming.
Like as he's like that,
he knows.
As he got, I can't quite tell. Like is he smiling like, I'm just winning us the Champions League, lads?
Yeah.
I want to ask him, were you smiling as you were diving? Because it looks like he is. It looks like he's going,
he looks so confident.
I got this, lads. I mean, as he's literally like diving to save it, because it's an easy save for him.
Did the Community Shield, the one where he saves like 3 pens, was that after that Champions League or was that before?
No, that was before, wasn't it?
I can't actually remember. I can't put it together in my head, dates wise.
I think it's before.
It was against Chelsea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where he saved 3 penalties. AD, who's been a member for 6 months, says, maybe biased, but this is some of the best analysis.
Will you speed the Community Shield or the Charity Shield every fucking year?
And it was just a chill day out.
You don't have that issue now, would you?
I'm going to read this again and make
you know what?
We've
had
real
some
egomaniacs.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. He says, maybe biased, but this is some of the best analysis I've heard on the issues we're facing. United have no identity. We aren't a cohesive unit. I honestly cannot believe that Ten Hag doesn't see it. I just can't. He'd have to have been lobotomized to not get it a little bit more than it looks like he does.
What a word, by the way.
We have this attitude towards Ollie that it was all vibes and no tactics, right? Which is nonsense, by the way, right? It wasn't just vibes that got us to beat PSG, that got us to beat City 4 times when he was at United. Like, that's not a thing.
That's just because there will be a select amount of influential people online that will say that, and then everyone follows like sheep, as they do. Yeah. When it comes to football.
And I was just wondering what you thought of Abdullah, because obviously Ollie's done his first big interview post leaving United. I know he did the sort of farewell interview, but he did the overlap. I'm sure. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've watched parts of it, to be fair.
And I just wanted, because it's a bit of a topic in a minute, I just wanted to know your take on what you think of Ollie and his time at United, and whether there's a little bit more, not revisionism, because I think that's a bit harsh, but people maybe appreciating him a bit more to go, look, the guy got us 3rd and 2nd. It was obviously a bit of a bin fire going on behind the scenes. He wanted all these players, he didn't get any of them. And if you look at some of the results he got and some of the tactics he had for those results, They worked perfectly.
For me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been one of the probably top 3 managers to face Pep Guardiola. Them 2-0 wins that we had over like 2-3 seasons at the Etihad, we genuinely played better than City. Yeah. We did. Like, we might have not had as much of the ball, but we made the better chances. Better team. We looked better. We looked more of a threat. We could have been 3-4-0 up, if you remember, in the first half against...
There was one that was 2-1 where Otamendi got a goal for him.
Sorry.
No, just for 2-1 then. Yeah. But I remember that game in particular. And getting the right players to do things that suited him, making Dan James look like a world beater, giving Fred a role that he revelled in. Yeah. Like, he was able to get those little things right. Even some of his substitutions, and I know this sounds crackers, but I'll never forget Andreas Pereira coming on and just tripping up Raheem Sterling as he ran off with the ball. And like just took the yellow, and Raheem Sterling lost his head because it was like the last few minutes. Just little things. He seems to get all the little things right in those games, and you have to get them all right to beat City in that pomp. Well, they're still in it now, but that City era.
To sum it up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think obviously even myself, even though I wasn't like extremely harsh with like trying to get him out and stuff, I was very frustrated with the last season because I wanted to see a bit more control in the game.
Yeah. Even
with myself, I start thinking recently, like, you know what? Generally, it would have made sense to even, because when Ralph had come in, he said it himself. It's like, did we even get any better? We definitely didn't.
100% not.
So ultimately, the whole Ronaldo signing and trying to play in a certain way hurt him a lot. And also, he'd lost Marcus Rashford to a big injury because he ended up having his surgery, and he was very reliant on him and Bruno, sort of that connection that they had. But when you look at it, the season where we'd finished second, which was the season before he gets sacked, right?
Yeah.
In that season, we were genuinely like in and around City. We went top for a little bit, didn't we, in early Jan?
Top on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake that Man United made that summer in recruitment, and at the time, even though I thought, Donny van de Beek was a good signing, was not signing a young defensive midfielder to be a bit of an understudy for Matic. That, for me, at that stage, a lot of people didn't like the sound of it. But I wanted Declan Rice.
I couldn't agree more.
Declan Rice.
I couldn't agree more.
Genuinely, I wanted Declan Rice.
So did he.
I really wanted Declan Rice.
That's the thing.
He said it, and he would have come in as that understudy. I think his value was nowhere near as it was. But Declan Rice was someone that I'd watched at West Ham, and every week he was improving his game. Had a good mentality. Like, always looked at. Now I know this because of like one of the guys that I worked with previously. He always says like he'll be getting in contact asking about like his analysis and what if he really cared about improving his game, and he had that right mentality. Yeah. So with Declan Rice, I feel had he come in that period, yes, he wouldn't have been anywhere near as polished as he is now. But playing alongside Pogba and allowing Matic's legs to just rest up and stuff, and there was a period where he pushed Pogba onto the left and Marcus Rashford onto the right, we'd have had more of a stable midfield, and those are the little signings that make the difference. Genuinely thought that defensive midfield signing made that difference from us staying in that title race all the way to the end.
Have signed, if you include Schneiderlin, but if in terms of people who have actually come, United have signed like 3 defensive midfielders in about 15 years, maybe
also,
20. Since we signed Carrick, it's been Schneiderlin, Matic, Casemiro. That's it. And you think the position that we're lacking in like that. To have signed so few players in that position over the last, basically since Michael Carrick arrived, he's absolutely mad.
And like you've had some that can play, like Schweinsteiger obviously was but he was done money, and also he was a different type of player. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
My point as well with Rice, which I think I agree with, not just the playing side, and we had this with James Ducker came on earlier on this week. Personalities. Declan Rice is a good guy to have in that dressing room. He's a winner. I'm not talking about. He's not even West Ham. He won a trophy. Which isn't, they don't win trophies, but he did. But he's got the right attitude, the right mentality, where he's coming into our dressing room, he's a pretty balanced guy, wants to win, sort of a good, popular guy to be around. Everyone seems to like him, everyone seems to want him, a leader. And I think at times, there's lots of other things that have gone wrong at Manchester United. It isn't just this. But at times, we've lacked those kind of characters in the dressing room.
Those little situations there in terms of recruitment make the difference. Yeah. For me, if we make that move in the summer, I genuinely think we stay in that title race. And that's one thing, no matter, I've had different opinions with Ollie, with the way we're playing and stuff like that, and I've criticised them a lot. But I still believe people underestimate how well we done in that period, in that COVID season when we finished second. Like, that was, for me, a massive, massive, massive 100%. Thing. That defensive midfielder was something we highlighted every week.
Look at it, Abdullah, right? We spend up to 37 million on Diallo, and he's still here. He might work out well. 20 million on Palestre, 35 million on Donny van de Beek, 10 million
summer, innit,
on Alex Telles. Like, all those signings that you've bought there, you could have gone and got a DM. You could have got Declan Rice for that money.
Yeah.
And would it have been a better bet?
Yeah.
100%. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect to Diallo and Palestri.
We bought Ahmad though, and we're not even like. I think with Palestri, I've not seen.
United have started off, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, Abdullah. And we're already under the cosh here a little bit.
Casemiro playing out from the back, just kicking
And we're
the
just
ball
giving it away here.
into an area
we
full
look,
of
we
Everton
look all
players.
over the gaff, but let's not be too harsh. It's only literally just kicked off, and now Delo's got the ball going down the right hand side.
What were we saying there?
Yeah, sorry. That frustrates me, that window, because Cavani, yeah, great signing, came in. Tellez, I understand it. It seems to be a bit more about giving Luke Shaw either a kick up the backside or someone to rotate with, or a bit of rest, whatever way you want to look at it. The Van der Beek one felt like we could get him, so we got him rather than the manager wanted him. Didn't make a lot of sense to me. Diallo, he played 60 minutes of professional football, a massive sort of gamble. Palestri, let's not pretend. Most of us have never heard of him. And again, we've just given the ball away really sloppily here. Everton.
This is what we do. This is literally what we do.
I think if
we
Everton
get the
got a
ball,
corner out of that.
no midfielders are about, so we just kick it into the opposition.
And I think all that money we spent that summer, I couldn't agree more with you, Abdullah. If we go out and get a DM, it's a different story. It really is. And if you look at it, like Arsenal, they went out that summer, and I know, listen, he's got issues, so I'm not saying we should have got him, but they got Thomas Partey for 50 million quid. And it's the kind of play they needed, and it's made a difference for him. Not any, I mean, he's not
midfield wins
now,
you games, man.
It sort of settled a bit of a storm for them when he needed it.
Yeah.
And we just ignored that, and we just stuck with McFred, who neither of which were out and out DMs.
And it was so annoying because we used to just grill McTominay and Fred. And I used to every time say this. I was like, I genuinely still feel sorry for them because there's a lot.
They're in here. Everton are in.
Great goalkeeping.
Wow.
Fantastic goalkeeping.
Wow. Andre Onana has just done an absolute worldie. Well,
very
smothered was. Who was it then?
that.
Was it Onana for Everton? He was through.
Onana on Onana.
Yeah.
It's fantastic goalkeeping this because he could easily get an absolute fucking knee in the face there. That's
very
brilliant.
brave.
He's been really good recently.
Yeah,
Onana.
since the turn of the year, I think he's been. It would have been probably disallowed anyway because he handballs it, but. So it's actually Godfrey in the end he jumps out. It's not Onana. Yeah, the game's kicked off. Score prediction. Get your score predictions in the comments as well. Who's going to score and what will the score be? Jay, I'll start with you.
I'll go 1-0. I went with 1-0 in the preview. I'll stick 1-0 United. But we need to fix up because we're not going to keep a clean sheet and carry on like this. Like, Varane's just give it away there in a terrible position.
3 times we've had the ball in the back and 3 times the ball hasn't made it from our centre-backs to our midfielders. And that's every time we've had possession. I'm going to stick with 3-0, but these opening 3 minutes have been shit from Manchester United. Abdul, what are you thinking?
2-0 United.
2-0.
No confidence.
Get your thoughts in. Get your score predictions in the comments. Bloody hell.
Get on your toes, then. Somebody, man, just walking around.
It's too slow. It's too slow.
Show for it a bit more.
Anon Britt says, consider this. Ten Hag knows he has 1 more year. He knows the defenders cannot press. Get 2/3 of the team into pressing and fix the back line in the summer. Potentially. Michael Walter says, Arsenal have scored 31 league goals in 2024. We have 37 all season.
This season has been terrible, and the stats prove that. We've conceded too many goals. We've not scored anywhere.
Right, we're back. Sorry about that. The internet is the biggest pain in the arse in my life, and we're going to...
Other than Manchester United Football Club.
Yeah, by the sound of it, United are trying to play out from the back and can't against Everton from what we've seen so far, which is absolutely hideous to think about, really, isn't it?
But we said before the game there's no excuses, and it feels like already, we're trying to find, well, not us personally, but you're trying to find something because it's been woeful. It really has, and Everton aren't a good football team, and we're doing our best to make them look like a good football team with just some poor passes, giving away the ball.
But the fact that they're playing a higher line and stopping us playing out from the back.
I mean, if you feel like pretty confident when you're an opposition player against United at the minute.
Yeah.
It's like put them under pressure, get at him, and they'll make mistakes. They'll give you the ball. You'll get opportunities, and that's what's happening. It's happening week in, week out.
Like, look how just slow we are. Everyone's walking, booting it long up to Lindelof,
That's just
who loses the header.
What sort of tactic is that?
And now they've got... Fucking hell, man. Well done, Garnacho. And it's only 9 minutes, but it's just such a deflating thing to see, isn't it? That's
Penalty. It's a penalty.
That is a penalty.
United have got a penalty.
Well. I was going to say, it looked like a penalty.
Right,
he's
turning my
come
phone
in, he's
over
come
so I
in
don't see it
being
before.
as sloppy as fuck so far, Tarkowski, isn't he?
Yeah.
He was late on Mainu 2
Isn't he a red
seconds ago.
Tarkowski?
Probably. He was late on Mainu 2 seconds ago.
It's from Sale, isn't it?
And then he's just late on Garnacho there. It just looked like a clear penalty, didn't
I don't know why Sean Dyche is moaning. Let's have a look at it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's caught him there. He's caught him. Good feet here by Garnacho. Just switches it inside and then
He just kicks his ankle. It's
just
a foul.
kicks him. It's a foul.
Yeah.
Tarkowski doing his bit for United there. Good lad.
No question, really, is there?
Bruno, is it?
Definitely a penalty.
100%.
Someone says the softest penalty. But these days it isn't, is it? If you're watching in 1960, it might be.
Like
but
the fact the ref
they
give
get
it, the
given
ref
all
give
the
it
time.
tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah,
It wasn't even
Tarkowski
VAR.
didn't argue it.
No,
Nothing.
he went,
It's just
get up, and then he just went, oh, no, never
just
mind.
stupid, rash defending by Everton. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, with teams, especially toward the bottom of the table, I know we haven't won or even scored, but it's not the quality often it's the sort of consistency that'll let them down. And like, if you've got is he a captain as well? Doing stuff like that 9 minutes into a game, you just think
A game that you were doing all right in as well. Like,
yeah,
it's not like they were
a
up
game that
against
United
it.
look shit in. Go on, Bruno.
Come on, Bruno. Don't mess it up. Come on.
Penalty to United. Bruno Fernandes. Come on. Yes! Hell, I thought Pickford had saved it for a second. If it wasn't for the fact that that's a very good penalty, Pickford almost gets there, but it's drilled along the floor. He's just eating
Unbothered by all
that
that.
guy in the crowd. They're just eating. It looked like what's in like a little Portuguese tart or something.
Yeah.
Just going like, no, just like he didn't even mean to come to the football.
Yeah, it's like
if I'm
Tarkowski and Pickford are having a bit
good.
of a
If I'm
ding-dong
Pickford,
there.
I am fuming at Tarkowski there. We've started really well. All you have to do is not give basically.
Oh,
give a goal
that's a
away.
great penalty, that, you know. Yeah, look at that right in the corner.
Just a
there.
great penalty. Yeah. Stupidity from Tarkowski. Renato says shit game though. Yeah, it is. And that's why if you're an Everton fan or if you're Pickford there, you'd have to be fuming with Tarkowski. Because Everton couldn't have hoped for a better start, really. And yet they're 1-0 down. I want to see United calm down a bit now. Not just going long and giving the ball away. See, that's a shit pass from Casemiro there.
Sorry,
it's
I'm
not
not
a difficult
sorry
pass.
by the way, I'm on my phone. Like, it's United, whenever United are on it, like, oh, it's tickets this and that and the other and da. Also, my lad's game's still going on, so I've still got to have my phone. I thought that was going right in
Yeah,
there.
I did.
Dwight McNeil about to get his annual goal.
That would have been the best goal he's ever scored.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think in the end it's quite far wide, isn't it? Onana going long now. We tried playing out for 5 minutes and now we've just decided to go long. And we've not won the header. We've won the second header and the third header, but they're the ones who've got the ball. Everton in United's box. I can't. It's hard when you're watching it on telly to see the complete structure of how United are trying to play out from the back. But the individual passes so far in this game, whether that's because the space isn't there, the movement off the ball isn't there, I can't say for certain. But some of the passing has been absolute amateurish garbage from Man United so far. Varane with 1, Casemiro with 3 so far. Where, yeah, Onana's just going long every time now. Because every time we play it short, we give the ball away. We are so bad against team, and they're pressing higher than I expected them to, Everton.
No, you're right.
Anytime a team presses against us, we can't fucking pass it out.
No.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
Like now, let's see what we do here. Onana's got the ball. Do we try and play out from the back? No, we just ping it long. Everton win it back.
Keep going, son.
It's crazy to watch. It's absolutely crazy. Can Everton play out from the back?
Go on, Lindelof. Keep going.
Well done,
going.
Victor.
Soft.
Nah, that's
Soft,
not a
that
foul.
referee.
That's good defending that. It's not a foul, that. Thoughts on the first 15 minutes?
Poor.
Yeah.
I know we're winning. I'm not being negative for the sake of it, but United haven't really got going. And I think we're quite fortunate that the quality's not there from Everton. Because if this was, if we play like this against Liverpool, it'll be 3-0 to Liverpool already. It's offside, surely. I'm just hoping that there's a little bit of a... I don't know, maybe it's just like... United players can still get nervous, can still feel it. Like, you know what, this is a game we've got to win. This is, at home or whatever, but it's just like we keep saying, the sort of theme of this game has been no excuses, and there shouldn't be any. We should be able to beat Everton relatively comfortably, like we did at Goodison.
Yeah.
Like lots of teams have done this season. They've not won for 10 games for a reason. So United just needs to settle down and just start playing football. And even that everything looks a bit dodgy and last minute and
they win the ball.
Yeah.
We go long, they win it. And then we rely on second and third ball to win the ball back. Pass it. Well done.
Right.
Oh, good tackle.
Good tackle, that, to be fair. That Branthwaite.
Yeah.
Putting himself in the shot window. He's got a good record against Everton, hasn't he, Bruno?
Has he?
Yeah. Remember that world he scored in 3-3?
Can't watch it anymore. I hate stuff like that when great goals get ruined by the result. Good, lucky ball, but it's a good ball. Bruno.
I jinxed him. I said he's got a good record against Everton, and he absolutely spoons it over from 10 yards.
In fairness, the pass was behind him and bobbling. It wasn't a very good pass, but it's a poor ball. I think it's a 5-yard pass here. It's a shit one. He stabs it into the ground here. Look, Garnacho. And it's bouncing and bobbling and slightly behind.
I don't know why he needs to do that. He could have just laid it off normally.
But we're not very good at that. Do you know those sorts of details that at Sunday League level don't matter? I passed him the ball. Look, what more do you want? But at the top level, you pass it to a player's foot. You pass it into it for them to move on to. You even put spin on the ball so that when they hit it, it's going to grip a certain... Like, top players think about these things.
Eriksen does that.
Eriksen's
good at that. If you watch Eriksen's passing, like, he's very good at giving a player a phenomenal pass where all the hard work's been done with a pass, if you know what I mean.
It matters. That stuff matters, and we don't have players that... I don't know if they don't think about it, if they're incapable of thinking about it under pressure, but United are very poor at that. I think our front three, none of them are great passers.
No, I agree with that.
And really...
See, there again, got away with it, though. There's too much on it.
It's weird. It's just weird to watch this team.
What are the comments saying about the performance so far?
Yeah, people talking about the passing. It's like Casemiro's playing for Everton. Casemiro's stinking it up today. Casemiro lost the ball again. It's a lot of anti-Casemiro stuff. It's not surprising, really. Cody Hayes, who's been remembered for 38 months.
Go on, Cody. Thank you, my brother.
Been horrible today, giving the ball away constantly. Yeah, I mean, Everton have had most of the ball, haven't they? Definitely. Which, again, is weird. Like when they've got the ball, we're sort of jogging.
Yeah.
And when we've got the ball, they're sprinting at us. And then they've got men on the wing there.
Acres of space.
Fucking acres of space.
So, and again in midfield.
Acres of space. Like, what's that? How can we be sitting off and yet their winger has got no one within 7 or 8 yards of him, and their central midfielder or attacking midfielder has got no one within 4 or 5 yards of him when he receives the ball?
Disgusting.
Where is our team? Because it's not pushing up. We played short again here. Onana pinged it long. Good touch from McTominay. Shit second touch, and luckily he got fouled there by James Tarkowski, who has done nothing right all game.
Told you he's a red. He knows.
Yeah.
He's helping us out.
But it's like we're relying on the opposition to be stupid. to win games. That isn't a.
It's obviously
idea,
early doors with Casemiro in this game, but there's been a lot of performances that he's underwhelmed for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest with you, on the whole, as a signing, I expected more.
Yeah.
And I think it's annoying because when he's on it, you can see how good he is. Like, he's genuinely an amazing midfielder, but he's just, for me, he has as many bad games as good.
To me, he looks like someone now who, you see it a lot at lower levels where players who are used to playing Saturday League or used to play for an academy are now 35, 36. They're playing Sunday League because one of their mates plays and he's come down and he'll help us out. But he knows he's helping you out. He knows he's playing like he's doing us a favour.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he's always taking... like he plays with people who are... John Evans...
He got a little bit of a... Something happened with him now, John Evans. Like, he got took one in the face.
I think he got a head or an arm in the face there. But, like, do you know when you play with people who they're always taking the risky pass?
Yeah.
And they're never playing it safe. They're never doing the right thing.
Yeah.
They're just doing the thing that if it comes off, it looks good. And if it doesn't, who cares? Because I'm just here to help out anyway. He's playing like he's doing Man United a favour at the minute, Casemiro.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Oh, I wasn't looking at it. We'll keep going.
Like that, one turn.
Keep going.
And no one else is near him. God, it's just...
These are the sort of performances as well where the crowd start. I know we're winning, so it might not be as bad.
I can't imagine
but
the crowd is particularly
annoyed.
lifted here. I can't imagine the crowd are loving this. We can't really hear it. But I can't imagine it's a boisterous atmosphere because what is there to get you excited? Casemiro giving the ball away again. Now what?
What's
Honestly,
that?
I am playing in central midfield for Manchester United at the
What
minute.
on earth was that? And what was that as well? Jesus wept. Rafael
literally
Varane has done
can't
that
pass.
at least 5 times so
We
far
literally
this game.
cannot pass. It's fucking insane. Casemiro and Varane look like they were fucking doing the Sambuca challenge last night. They look fucking hungover, knackered and shit. Don't they though? They look like they're playing drunk.
Yeah. Bloody hell. I tell you what,
Bruno's now...
if you play like this against Liverpool, I keep going on about it, but seriously, if you play like this against Liverpool, it's going to be 4-0 again at half-time.
The thing is, we do play like this against Liverpool, which is why we've seen 5-0s, 7-0s.
Exactly.
Why we
No,
lose
I mean
at Old
coming
Trafford
up
too.
if we do
No,
that.
I'm saying,
like,
we know what it's going to be because we've done it. Like,
I can't stomach another one of them, mate.
I know. I don't know if anyone can. We played it short again, just so Onana can kick it long. What's the point in adding that extra pass in there? Just so all of our players are... Oh, God.
McTominay's just give away a free kick. I mean, to be fair, McTominay there, I've not been impressed with him at all this game, but he didn't have a lot on there.
No.
It was just, hoof it up. He gets the ball. He's got 3 Evertonians around him. I don't know what he's meant to do.
The fact we can't hold the ball against anyone at the minute is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. We literally, whoever we play, as Abdul said before, and I've said it before as well, we just drop to the level of the team we're playing against.
Oh, Varane's
again.
I'd hate to see Varane's statistics this game because they're going to be off the charts, and I don't mean in a good way.
They can pass. Why can Everton pass and we can't? We're so lucky we got that penalty. We are so lucky we got that penalty. Because this game could end 1-0. And it's not because we've deserved it. Bruno Fernandes is now United's all-time leading penalty scorer with 29 penalties. That's pretty impressive.
Who's he taking over, do you know? Was it Dennis Law or someone? Or?
I don't know. I would... Do we know, Alexi? Do you know who number 2 is? I was going to say...
Is it Van
I would guess
Nistelrooy?
Van Nistelrooy.
Bloody hell.
He was a fantastic penalty
He
taker.
was. I didn't realise he took so many. Mind you, I suppose 150 goals. 150 goals he scored for
Yeah,
us.
I think so. Deep corner from Everton. And Tarkovsky won the header, but it was just too high for him in the end. Rooney was talking about Marcus Rashford and asked if he has any sympathy for his situation. He said, not much, to be honest. He's in a privileged position where he plays for Man United. Do you think that this squad feel like that at the minute? Do you think they go on the pitch thinking, we're privileged to play for this club?
No.
They don't look like it, does it?
There's no
and
evidence.
that's not just
There's
Rashford, that's the lot of them.
There's no evidence. You just said there that Varane and Casemiro are playing like they're doing us a favour. That's not people playing like they feel they're in a privileged position.
Good save.
Great save by Andre Onana, and the other Onana shoots over.
This is woeful, this. Casemiro just sliding in and then getting 1-2'd. I'd take Casemiro off. Honestly, if I'm the manager, I'm taking Casemiro off.
He kind of like run it.
And I'm dropping him
Ronaldo
for
Brown
the
on our
next game.
channel last week was on it with Casemiro, and he was right. Casemiro fell apart in that second half. Like, he was at fault for... Amrabat got all the stick for that goal, for the Haaland goal, but the pass from Casemiro was just stupid. I don't know what he was doing. And then he got done by the 1-2, didn't he, for Foden's second goal. Yep. I mean, this is pretty basic stuff for a player like Casemiro. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, he's a good player. We've seen that. Yet we've seen so many poor performances from him. And it's not like he hasn't got the ability. I just don't know what it is. He just switches off far too often. And some of these performances this season from Casemiro have been just terrible. You look at the Brentford game at Old Trafford. I mean, that's the worst performance I've ever seen him have for anyone.
Yeah. Did I say before the game, it doesn't look like the players have stopped trying or the manager lost them. These are the sorts of games where I start to question that. This performance so far, the fact that we're 1-0 up is a freak, to be honest. Like, we've done nothing all game and we're winning.
Alejandro Garnacho could be in here. Well, he's wide and he's got players in front of him, but he's done well. He's got to it.
Keep it. That's a foul. We've got a free kick on the edge of the box, but this has been horrendous from Man United so far. Against, other than Sheffield United, one of the worst teams in the league. It's not like, as far as league games go, it doesn't get much less difficult than this.
The thing with it is, right, you're right,
That's a booking, that.
Sheffield United is terrible. But even like Luton, they're battling. They're showing something, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, when they lose when they lose games, they tend to lose by 1 goal and they'll score goals and it's back and forth. Like, they're in the games. Sheffield United obviously don't do that. But Everton are in this form as well where they just keep losing or drawing. They can't win. The goals have dried up. The confidence is at a pretty low ebb. Historically, our record against Everton is ridiculously good. Like, it's the ideal team to play at a good time to play them.
The thing is, we might win this game. It's not even that I think we're going to lose. It's just looking at the performance. It's as bad as it's been all season.
I hate being negative, but you've got to be realistic. Bruno with a free kick. Oh, it's a great save there by Pickford.
It's a very good free kick, that. I thought that was going in.
I did.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this again.
It's not
quite in the corner, is it?
A foot to the keeper's right, that's in. He only just
it's a good
gets
save
that.
still.
Thing is, the height is perfect, but it's slightly central, isn't it? But it's a brilliant effort from Bruno and a good save from Pickford as well. Yeah, it's good stuff, that. Struggle with this.
Could have done without going in, actually.
I know.
Everton know they're still well in this game.
Oh, yeah. Even at 2, you do.
Yeah.
These might not, because I know they're struggling.
Yeah,
Everton,
that's what I mean.
Right. Can United string a few passes together here? It's a decent ball. Garnacho. Just trying to keep the ball a little bit, United. But we can't. We just can't. We don't know what to do. Or we're not capable of doing it. Keep the ball, Cobby. Come on, man. Everton are counter-attacking now. Recovered quite well, United, but we've got 3 men round Dwight McNeil here, and we can't get the fucking ball off him, and he's put a cross into the box. And luckily, it wasn't a very good one. But every touch, like every pass United players make, the receiving player is stretching to get it. It's never comfortable. United just counter in here. It's a good ball, that from Rashford to Bruno inside the box. To McTominay squares it. Oh, that's unlucky. That's unlucky there. McTominay's just offside. United actually created a chance there. Played some good stuff. Ball into McTominay in the box. Squared it across the face of the box. That run from McTominay off the ball was good here. He's just offside when it gets played, and it's very tight.
Close that.
Given offside, but that was good. And United got into a good position,
Good
squared
ball
it,
out
and
as well,
it's
to be
close. It's
fair,
good defending
McTominay.
from Branthwaite in the middle again. But a bit better from United there. Last few minutes, United just... Fucking hell, that's easy though, isn't it? How easy was that? Them playing out from the back was just a little 1-2. And then just a ball in
It's
behind.
just mental, innit? Like,
Yeah.
kind of feel for Johnny Evans, me.
Does anyone want to get anywhere fucking near him or
Bloody
what?
hell.
Does anyone want to get near him?
If Dwight McNeil's a bit better, he'd have a brace today.
Like, what's that? He's on the edge of our box and everyone's just fucking running away from him.
Dalot's just standing off him now, I think.
Well, Dalot's got another man to look out for. I don't know. Casemiro's not there. We're not pushing up to him. Do you know what I mean? Dalot had the winger that he needed to have half an eye on.
I saw Casemiro coming in at a shot. I don't know why he
But
was
it's just
doing.
too late. Do you know what I mean? It's like McNeil goes from outside of our box, runs 10 yards on the ball, and no one
Fucking
closes
hell,
him
man.
down. That's
Win
a
that.
foul.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't just want to be negative because it's draining. But this performance so far is poor. It's getting slightly better, but it's still not good at all, is it? Figwart said, is anyone else weirdly happy Branthwaite is flying? No, not really.
Why?
Because United might sign him and it's a sign that he's good, I guess.
No, not really. No.
I think Everton have had 8 shots already.
That's like Abdullah buzzing when teams score against us when he's got him in his fantasy football team.
Except
Do you
at
know what I
least
mean?
with that,
Like-
Abdul has got them in his fantasy
Yeah.
team. We haven't signed
Like,
Jared
he's
Branthwaite.
playing mint against us, but one day we might buy him, so it's bless. Oh, is it?
Shit.
That's just poor ball, isn't it?
Casemiro there again, giving the ball away.
Go on, Marcus.
Well then, now what? It's a good ball from Casemiro. Is that? Surely handball
That's
there.
surely.
I think that was handball there. He dived over the ball, and
Is it going to get looked at?
like he's fucking jumping on a grenade.
Come on! That it's 2 arms done it.
Do you get to do that? If someone's behind you, you can just jump on the ball and use both arms to stop the player getting it.
I'd have thought that'd have been a penalty, to be honest with you.
Well, have they checked it yet? I don't. You can't just do that, surely.
No, you can't.
Like if someone's behind you and they think they're going to get the ball, you just jump in the way and use both arms to fucking scoop it away. Yeah, and Bruno gets the ball inside their 6-yard box if he don't do that.
Mate. That would have been funny now we get another penalty. After
Yeah.
the way we've been playing.
Alright, what we got here? Where's the movement? Copy's coming short. But if you... Can't do it, can we? We just can't play out from the back. Every tech we've had has started with winning a second or... I was going to say, why has everyone started? Winning a second or third ball. We're not actually playing out.
No,
We're going long. They win the header and we pick up the second ball.
So poor. Been poor so far, Manchester United. Hit that like button as well, people. You might not like what you're seeing in terms of the game, but you can like the video. Also, get involved in the comments and the chat. And if you're not doing it already, subscribe to the channel, man. Let's get to 750,000 subscribers by the end of the season, man. We're getting there almost.
David Taylor says, do you think some of these players basically don't care because they know their days are numbered? Now Sir Jimmy's running the show. No more big contracts for poor performances. No, I don't think that, because most of them have got a long time left on their contracts.
Making him work for it now, son. Go on. Go on, Alejandro. Go on, lad. Go on, lad. Penalty!
That's a penalty. What the fuck are we seeing here?
Hey, that's the plan.
What is going on?
Give it Garnacho, let him win you a
What
penalty.
are you annoyed at for? 2 of the most blatant penalties I've ever seen. Look at Godfrey, he ain't even complaining. This is honestly self-destruct from Everton. because we are shit. And that is as obvious a penalty as you can possibly imagine. He knocks the ball past him and he just stands on him and trips him up.
Mate, he stands
you are
on
an
him.
idiot.
Right, there's 2 penalties. He stands on his foot and then flies into him as he's doing it.
There's a game
and wipes him out.
There's a game to be won here for Everton. Why is Rashford taking this?
They did this at Goodison, didn't they? They did exactly this. They let Rashford take the penalty. Do you remember?
Don't do that.
My nerves can't. Mate, I don't know about this one when you're only 1-0 up and you're playing really badly.
And we're as bad as we've ever been.
And I love Marcus, but this isn't a charity game. Make me eat my words, Marcus. Just score this, bro.
We'll know each other as well, obviously, Pickford and Rashford. This is bizarre from Everton. This is like...
I don't want anyone messaging me going,
penalty to United. Marcus Rashford. Two-0.
Yes! Come on, Marcus.
Dallo doing Rashford celebration for him there.
In that.
From behind.
Phew.
This is a mental
This is
game.
the shittest 2-0 up we've ever been. Like, genuinely. And I don't want to be negative, right?
You, Abdul?
But
you're right to just sit so we can
But
talk about this.
in all honesty, right, we've been woeful and we're 2-0 up after 35 minutes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I want to look at the stats on this game so far. I'll get him up just while Abdul's getting sat in there.
Look at this penalty, yeah.
Because we talked a lot
nicely
about
done, Marcus.
tactics before the game. We talked a lot about how United are setting up. We're ready. Is Abdul ready? Yeah. Abdul, what have we seen so far here? Because Everton.
This is the biggest mid-off as I call it, I've ever seen. It's just Everton are so shit.
I know.
They're so bad. They are so... How bad can you be to play like this against Man United?
It's unbelievable. Everton have had 8 shots so far this game, 44% possession. I think first 20 minutes would have been a lot higher than that. The last few minutes United have just come back into it. But Everton, another shot there for Everton. But yeah, just talk me through this game. What have you seen take away the goal? I mean, obviously you can be happy about the goals, but in terms of the performance from Man United, what are you thinking? What are you rating this? How is it looking?
It's just, I can't lie to you, it's just been moments of brilliance from Garnacho being direct that have got us basically where we are in this game. Decent build-up for the first penalty we win with like Marcus Rashford and Garnacho combining. Good run from Garnacho darting across to the left, which I like. I like that. He's floating a bit more across the front line. But overall, like, there's been nothing to really sing about in terms of there's lack of control. For me, I just put this out on Twitter and I said, we signed Amrabat as a pure holding midfielder and he spent his whole time at Man United playing at left back. And I know he's not had a good time. But when you look at the way Casemiro is on the ball, receiving and playing out, like, trying to play out of pressure, it's just constantly losing the ball. And I like Casemiro, but even at Madrid, that was never his role.
Yeah. As,
like, he was the ball winner and stuff like that, but that's always been a weakness of his game. So you always have, like, Kroos dropping in or Modric to progress the ball. Either, like, Modric, it would be more playing out of the pressure, or Kroos picking it up and looking for a pass out wide. So we're playing him in an area, really, where he's not used to playing. Like, he isn't usually that first phase midfielder. It's just that he's a holding midfielder that wins the ball. So he's always got a bit of that support. So that's why I guess Cobby's playing sort of alongside him, but we're not really seeing him drop in to pick the ball up. And I just want to see some level of control, because I think TNT showed the stat earlier, and Everton have kept under 40% possession. I think them and Sheffield have got the least average possession per game.
Yeah.
And we're still giving them so much control. And it's to be a top 10 side in the Premier League, like, forget, like, don't even call us a top 4 team, top 6 team. Like, that's the way we are now, a top 10 side in the Premier League. You should still be having complete control against a side that's struggling, just like Sheffield are with keeping the ball.
That's I think it was 39%, wasn't it? Was Everton's average possession this season. They're on 45 in this game. But also it's worth remembering that half of those games are at Goodison Park, where you'd expect them to sort of try and assert more control. This is at Old Trafford. They are, 17th in the league. United giving them more than their average amount of possession in this game. It's not common, is it?
Who put that forward? Oh, nice little combination there. Good stuff. I want Garnacho to get a goal today.
He's been one of the bright sparks, hasn't he?
Yeah, yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Look at
Obviously,
the
won
space here,
2
look at the
penalties.
space.
Go on, Marcus. Keep
There's
going.
just so much space
I know.
every time, isn't there? It's
Yeah,
just,
there is.
I get sometimes teams will get behind you, like City against Chelsea. Chelsea really killed them. Like they could have won that game.
Yeah, they should have won that game, really. I
But
think.
that happens when you're trying to play brave and you're trying to be compact higher up the pitch. With us, it's like we still concede counter-attacks regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just gaps everywhere, aren't there? Like, there is this sort of like...
Jesus Christ. You look at that from Everton, right, and you just think, the shit, like they are. They're not a good team. Like, player for players, they've got so many who are just not up to it. And yet, for this first 40 minutes, we've just let them have so much of the ball and let them have balls in dangerous areas and keep giving it back to them.
Yeah.
Been very lucky that we're playing a team that are just poor.
Yeah, and I think we'll win the game. I think that the odds of them getting 2 goals back are not out of the question, but unlikely. But so far, it's been an even game, to say the least.
No,
It's just
no.
stupid moments from Everton defenders.
That
giving
was
us
it.
2
Ben
goals.
Godfrey for that second penalty.
Yeah.
Is one of the worst things I've ever seen a defender do. It was just so stupid.
Yeah. It's like he's just pissed off that Everton aren't great. Somehow we're in the lead. They missed a couple of chances. So I'm just going to go for a tackle that's completely not on at all.
I'm like proper, just right in front of the ref, clatters him. And it's not like he waits till he gets in a box to do it as well.
Yeah.
It just makes it even worse.
And it's almost, we've lulled them into a false sense of security where, because we play so slowly, and then Garnacho actually running, caught him out.
Yeah.
So we thought, I've probably got 2 or 3 seconds to make this tackle.
because he looked where he picked the ball up and where he ends up.
But the speed of our play is so slow. Like, it's direct like that, but it's absolutely ponderous on the ball.
Yeah,
no
it's ponderous.
one-touch.
That's a good word to describe it.
Again, sorry to go back to Arsenal all the time, but the amount of one-touch passing they do, first time,
Yeah.
in, out. Like, everyone's taking 3 or 4 touches for United.
Well done, Victor Lindelof. Oh, Bruno gives it away. Everton just come down here, the left-hand side. Bruno.
Are you joking?
What was that?
Are you joking, mate?
What world was that pass on? See,
Mate, that was so stupid, that from Bruno, that.
These are the things that just the manager has no control over. Like, for you to make that decision there, to make that pass, it's a joke.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we've talked a lot about the structure and the manager, and eventually, obviously, it's the manager that gets the bin. But some of the passing and just the pass is there. There is a man to give the ball to, and we're either choosing the wrong one or just not able to make 5 and 10 yard passes.
That was woeful, that from Bruno. That's fucking shocking.
Corner to Everton, gone over everyone. Luckily, it's a goal kick to United. Yeah, this is like when we played Forest, innit? You know, just like 2 bad teams playing against each other,
it is.
and we're slightly better than your bad. Like, our bad is a bit better than your bad.
Yeah, definitely. I think Garnacho's has been a difference on it, really. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because if he's not for him winning them penalties, obviously, I don't see him scoring anyway, any other way of us scoring. And especially for the second one, it was almost like he did it all on his own. Just got the ball barely in their half and just ran fucking right into the box with it.
Yeah, his directness.
Yeah.
And there, look, we saw the defence there dropping for our goal kick to receive the ball short from Onana, and he's basically told him, now push up, I'm going long. Because every time I give you the fucking ball, we lose it. It's reminiscent of Brentford last season, and then the Liverpool
offside.
game following it, where we went from passing short, getting battered, lost 3-0, to just go long every time, except we're tweaking it in game at the minute. Look at Everton, man.
Well done, Lindelof. Right.
But we should be able to play out from the back. I don't know what that was for either from Bruno. Was it
Done
from
what
McTominay?
he's left, does he ever, Bruno? He always loves that outside of the right foot
Yeah.
effort.
I've never seen a 2-0 that feels less convincing than this. I genuinely haven't.
I don't know why.
Just feels like...
It's just weird, isn't it? It's just a weird game, man.
Yeah.
Everything about it's been strange. But listen, the main thing is we're winning. Got to win this game. Fucking hell. know.
Fitness Balance says Garnacho hasn't been good. What game are you watching, Jay?
He's literally got us 2 goals.
Yeah.
Like, what are you on about?
Yeah. He's been the best.
It's 2-0 and both goals are because of him. Like, I don't know what more you want from him. And also, out of every single United player, he's been the best one.
Yeah, I agree. Fucking hell. Taking a while on this. Can't keeping the ball up. Now what? Yeah, just go along with that one. Just boot it up. And we'll win the second ball. Well, we'll try and win the third ball. There you go.
Garnacho again. That's got to be, hasn't it?
It's because he's put his arm down to try and touch.
Ah, right, okay.
I think that's a shit rule though, because it just gives you a free way to handball it.
Let's have a look here now. Can Garnacho win another penalty? That'd be
It
mint.
just gives you a free handball, doesn't it? That rule. Because if you just put your arm down, you look where the ball's going to go. Put your arm down as you slide it.
That's a pen, you know.
Yeah.
It's straight.
Yeah.
They don't give them though, do they? Because it's being used to support someone as you go.
It would have
down
been
to the
funny if
ground.
you give that as well. Hey, let McTominay have it. Spread it about.
Yeah. Let Casemiro have it. Bring Anthony on, let him have it.
Fucking hell.
Go on then.
4 minutes of added time. It's mad that as well, because United could have had 2 more penalties. Like, we've had, obviously, 2. Sorry.
It's alright. Doing a bit of light text work from Jay. United just letting Everton play out a bit. And they're fucking shit, man. These 2 teams we're watching today are poor, aren't they? They're poor, aren't they, Anton?
Such a bad game of football, mate. It's horrible. Glad we're winning though.
Yeah.
Can't wait for us to make.
The only reason we're
6th.
winning is Everton's stupidity, isn't it?
The thing is, I'll be a lot more excited about how we played if top 4 was in sights. But do you know what I mean? It's like there's nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. That's nice football. That lovely football, Reds.
And then
Oh,
who you got? McTominay, Casemiro. Casemiro's just doing what he wants, isn't he? He's literally just fucking about.
Go on, Victor Lindelof.
Good effort. Hold on, Victor. 4 minute stoppage time.
Putting the right place, just no power on it at all, was there?
No.
Right.
And Pickford saw it coming a mile off, didn't he? Yeah, just wasn't a very good shot, really. Was
You know,
it?
it's like a pass back.
Yeah. Trolley Tramp says Casemiro's been our best midfielder. Joe, stop it's embarrassing, and chat will just copy like melts. Okay, yeah, he's been great. You're right.
What are you on
Sorry,
about?
my mistake.
Hang on a minute. No, let's just not let that one go. Casemiro's been awful for about half an hour. Like, that's not debatable. We've been watching it for a good half an hour. He was doing insane things.
that's a great.
Here's Garnacho again. Go on, Alejandro.
Oh, pass it. Go.
Come on, he's got to square that to Rashford there. There was a pass on.
There's 2 now where there's a square pass on and he's not even attempted it both times. One to Bruno before and one to Rashford there. Casemiro's playing as a deep line midfielder and he's misplaced 10 passes out of 36 already.
I know Garnacho really wants to score,
Is that
but he
the
does
start?
this way too much, man.
10 out of 36. Bloody hell.
72% pass rate. For a deep line midfielder, that's not good enough.
That's shocking.
Right,
not-
let's call it what it
midfielder
is.
should always be over 90.
Yeah,
90.
that's what you'd expect from your number 10 who's like trying to put balls on people's heads in difficult areas. When you're playing out from the back, when you're the person receiving the ball off the defence, your passing cannot be 72% because it will allow the opposition
You see the
to create
difference there,
chances.
right? With Garnacho there, right? He doesn't pass it. And Marcus won't say anything to him. He won't. Hang on a minute. Everton are in here.
quality of this is mad, isn't it? Like there.
Is it half time? Half time. Right. Sorry.
Go on.
Marcus won't say anything to him. He won't. If that's Højlund, he's going berserk at him. And I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of that. Let him know.
Yeah.
Don't just put your head down and sulk about it.
True.
Like, say to him, look, you stood there and you're trying to take on 4 more men than you need to when there's a simple pass on and I've got a tap in. Like, Højlund goes mad at him about it. I don't mind that because Marcus will just, like, suck it up and just, like,
You've got to want to score. Like,
yeah.
You've got to be on it with your team.
Do you know what I mean? Let him know. Get in his head a bit. Like, next time you're through and I'm on, give it me. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, in reply to that, the same person said, you can't pass to players who aren't available. I get that. And the United's movement off the ball has been poor. But Casemiro has got the lowest pass completion percentage of any outfield player for United. So whilst on one hand, I don't expect him to have 75 passes out of 76 passes attempted, he is giving the ball away more than any other outfield player.
No disrespect to the kid having it in the comments, but what you want? I don't need stats to tell me when someone's playing piss poor. We can watch a game of football. Yeah. The stats back it up. But you're watching a guy keeps giving the ball away needlessly, who kept getting caught out of position as well. Like, he was nowhere to be seen twice when Dwight McNeil was free, when he should have been there.
Almost every chance Everton have had this game has had some sort of element of Casemiro making a mistake.
That's what I mean, man. I like Casemiro, but you can't just say, oh, he's been good when he hasn't. That doesn't make any bloody sense.
Doesn't matter how much of a big repetition you have. I think if we watch the same game, everyone sees how poor Casemiro's been this half. I love Casemiro, but he's been very, very disappointing. I think Varane as well struggled a bit earlier in the game. Yeah. It's given the ball away way too much for me.
I think we've come back into it a little bit as the game's gone on. United, not come back into it because we were in it, but we've got a little bit better as the game's gone on. Look a bit more dangerous, but part of that comes from Everton being deflated after we go 2 goals up, I think, and the goals are their own fault, so they can't be. You know, I'm not taking that away from anyone or blaming Everton, but like Everton have kind of lost their mojo a little bit because of that second penalty. But that first half, in terms of quality on the ball, in terms of movement off the ball, to that guy's point, which I do absolutely agree with, it's been poor. It's been really poor. And United haven't had any sort of control of the game. We've not been able to put any patterns together. It's not even patterns. It's just some of the short passing, some of the players who are available, we can't find them. The movement off the ball has been non-existent. And even the movement that has been there isn't particularly helpful. I don't understand it. Like when this is where my knowledge sort of runs out of my ability to find fixes for things. But when I see other teams play, other good teams, it looks like their players have got time on the ball all the time. When Arsenal play out from the back, when City play out from the back, each player has time. We never have time on the ball, and I don't know whether that's the physical abilities and the speed of our players, whether it's how we space out across the pitch, whether it's how we draw teams onto us and sort of react to that by making space in other areas. But every time we've got the ball, we're fucking being pressed like fuck against Everton, who don't even have a particularly good record at that. They've got very low possession. They're not a team that win the ball back and keep the ball. And yet, when they have the ball, little pass, I'll just turn this way and I'm in 5 yards of space. Like, what is that? Are you seeing that as well? I don't know how to fix it. I'm not a fucking UEFA Pro licensed coach like Erik ten Hag is, and all the people that we've seen sort of come and go behind the scenes at United. But everyone else seems to be slow, steady, composed, snap, one-touch pass in. When we've got the ball, there's no time to do anything, and we end up forcing it and going long. Are you seeing the same thing? Like, why is that happening?
You sum up like something that I just bang on about every time. It's when teams look trapped. Yeah, like players look trapped on the pitch, and that's always a bad sign of a lack of structure. Yeah, you can say lack of quality where you look at Casemiro in that half, giving the ball away. That's something that you can put down to the individual. But when I'm talking about Man United overall, under Erik ten Hag this season, it looks like our players just look trapped on the pitch. Like they're struggling to find the next pass a lot of the time. Never mind the execution. That's, like I said, where you can blame the player. But the spacing in this team is all off. On and off the ball, the movement is poor. But I think that comes down to structure.
No, it does. Hit the subscribe button as well, please, people. We've got over 3,500 people watching. Hit that subscribe. Can we put a link in the chat Someone please subscribe. Want to get to 750,000 subscribers by the end of the season. With your support, we can get there. Sasha says, same that such a beautiful club as Man United has such a disaster football team now already for years. This is so effing bad. I don't give a damn about winning like this. This masks loads of bad things. I mean, I get it, because I don't want to be too negative when we're 2-0 up, but in terms of performance, it hasn't been great, and you can tell that Everton are a poor team. That's the thing. You've got to be like mindful of that. Philip Glover says, I think Everton are entering the phase of the season where they'll try, but they think they'll stay up, so losing this won't matter. United should be playing to be here next season, but just aren't. Christopher Cheetahboom says, or Cheetahbem says, bring on Ahmad and take off McTominay. Matthew Leary says, Johnny Evans, amazing again. Trilly says, cry when we lose, cry when we win. Our fans are just crybabies. I think there's a difference, though, between being a crybaby, as you put it, and being someone who's, like, calling it as you see it. Like, yeah, I'm glad we're winning, obviously. I want us to win football matches. Buzzing with 2-0 up. I expect us to win this game. But in terms of performances, has it been a good performance? I'll be honest, no. I think we've seen 2 or 3 moments where Garnacho's got him behind. Garnacho's managed to run at him. Obviously conceded. They've conceded the 2 penalties. Maybe could have had a third as well, even a fourth at a push. Those have been the differences. You've seen McNeil has had a chance. Onana, I think, has had a chance. They've had moments. I think people they just haven't got that. They haven't got that quality.
I think people need to understand us as fans. We want to see something where you're like, okay, we can build on the back of this. You can't watch this performance and say, yeah, there's something to build on. You can't really, and that's what, as a fan, you look ahead as well as you look at the current game you're watching. I'm looking at, if we actually have a chance of getting into them Champions League spots, getting into 4 if the 5th opens up as a Champions League spot, like, I want to have that hope. And right now, when I'm watching Man United, like I said, if we get the result today, it's all good and well. We're happy that we've scored, we're buzzing, but I need to see something that tells me, next week we'll be back at it.
Yeah.
And right now, obviously, we've not seen that. So, you've got to understand them concerns, I think, from the fans. Everyone's a supporter at the end of the day, like when we're locking into this game and watching it and spending our time. But there's a lot of things that you just can't avoid.
Trilly says, yeah, of course, but you're always positive, happy about the win. Some fans seem gutted we're winning. I won't be gutted we're winning.
Yeah.
Also in the super chat, Ryan Hewitt says, watching from a sports bar in Thailand. Thanks for keeping me company, lads. Akash Paul says, Cassie, you surpassed it to Modric and Cruz to spark attacks. He's not good at linking the play. Always amazes me how bad we can be in possession. I don't know if you read that one out as well. Someone else, if I can see it. And Batman. Did you read and Batman?
No, I haven't read that one.
And Batman says, guys, when you come into South Africa, hopefully soon. I love South Africa. It's one of my favourite places.
Yeah, I've never been. I'd like to.
It's class.
Knights says, Onana and Branthwaite are great. Need them ASAP. I like Onana, but I feel like he's a very limited player. I think, like, I know it was just one shot that he had, but just as an example, the shot he at times on the ball, he looks a little bit reckless to me. I don't think his passing and shooting obviously isn't the same thing, but sometimes his ability on the ball, I think, might be a limiting factor if we're trying to like build a team to win the league. I think off the ball is very good, but on it sometimes I think he's quite limited.
Yeah.
Someone says, please not Southgate. Yeah, well, we'd all agree with that. Kyle Marchand says, watching in Michigan. Thanks for being the go-to watch during United early mornings. No, thank you very much for watching. Thought Scott had a good half, honestly. A lot of good movement and balls. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's not all about holding possession and all that. That's not the only thing in football. And we saw under Van Gaal, you can hold a lot of the ball and still lose games consistently. But you just don't watch United and think, yeah, we know what we're doing here. We're in control here. We're in charge here. It feels like a game that is just ping pong. You have a go, we have a go. They've had 11 shots, we've had 9 shots, but their sort of stupidity has meant that our shots are of a higher quality than theirs.
Exactly. You mentioned a good point, to be fair, saying like still feeling in charge even without the possession, and that's something that I'd probably attribute that Jurgen Klopp probably does quite well at Liverpool. Obviously, they actually, when you look at the numbers, they generally do have the possession, but sometimes you don't get that feel in the game where they're knocking it about in a certain way, but you still feel there's that element of control over what's happening in the game. And I think that's ultimately the biggest issue with Man United is, you can give teams possession, but Jose was so good at that in a certain phase of his career at Inter Milan and Chelsea and stuff. Like, sometimes his teams won't have a lot of the ball, and people would attribute to parking the bus every week. Well, that wasn't really the case. A lot of the time, Chelsea were just strong defensively, had that strong defensive structure, but they wouldn't allow things to come through, and they controlled the game in that manner. Whereas Man United, it's like 1, 2, 3 passes you're in, and it's like any chance we create is through a transition or a long ball over the top, and it's not like a clean transition where there's good combination plays and stuff, and that's the stuff that you build on.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, listen, I get that this team isn't our first choice team. We're missing, like we said, in some cases, we're not just missing our first choice player in that position, we're missing our second choice player in that position, and you've got to give some sort of, leeway there. But the players we've got available should be able to play better than they are playing. And we've seen them play much better than they are playing. And we've seen so many sloppy passes today. Not just in defence as well. Giving it the ball away. There was one pass from Bruno to McNeil, which was just terrible. But going forward as well, like you mentioned it, the pass to Bruno from Garnacho where he sort of stabbed it into the ground. Little moments like where you think you could be a little bit better there. That's just lack of concentration or just being too sloppy or too sort of relaxed about your passing when you need to be a bit more on it. So we've got to be honest in our assessment and say, yes, it's great we're winning 2-0. Is it been a good performance? No. Have players been playing as well as they can? No. And I want to see a little bit of a step up. I'm hoping Erik ten Hag sort of almost, not reads them the right out, because that might seem a bit ludicrous if they're winning 2-0, but just sort of reminds them that, look, come on, this game, we've got an opportunity here to come out in the second half, put on a performance, maybe get another couple of goals and turn it into an emphatic win. If we come out in the second half and play like we did at the beginning of the first half, they get a goal, and all of a sudden you're thinking, this is going to be another long day at the office. So the one thing that would be in my mind if I was playing for Manchester United tonight is, regardless of how poor we've been, we can play a lot better, and Everton ain't got much more to give. They ain't a good team. So let's get our act together, get a third goal, and then it's done then, innit?
Yeah. Just talking a bit more positively, United looking obviously massive favourites to win the game. We're not in a good run of form at the moment, as we haven't been all season. Maybe, do you think that this is just sort of all we can expect almost? Do you think that, like, you say about having a go at him at half-time, but you could have had a go at him at half-time in almost every game this year. And at this point, if he is doing that, they're probably not going to be responding. Like, I don't think
they've ever fully responded, mate. Not ever. But I think his record, and United's record genuinely under Erik ten Hag, his second-half performances hasn't been great. It hasn't been great since he arrived. Like, even last season, because obviously we had that phenomenal home record where we won basically after the Brighton game, or the Sociedad game anyway. We didn't lose another home game, and we beat Barcelona, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, all the rest of it. But if you look, a lot of second-half performances during the course of Erik ten Hag's tenure have been worse than the first half. Some of them emphatically. So maybe the Etihad is an outlier, but Anfield's the obvious one where we completely fell apart. Even other games, like I remember the Leeds game, where it was like they took an early lead. You think, right, come out for the second half, come on, get at him. And they scored within a minute. And in the end, I think it finishes 2-2, but still, it's just a thing I always used to notice in the second half under Erik ten Hag. We haven't really seen much of. Remember, we talked about Ollie earlier. There was a time under Ollie, the second half, we'd always win. We'd turn the game around. I mean, it got pretty unsustainable, but we had this trait of constantly coming from behind, constantly putting in a performance in the second half and getting the win. Under Erik ten Hag, I don't really see that.
There's a lot of examples of what you're saying. Even this season, look at the Tottenham game, look at the Arsenal game, look at the City game last week, look at the Wolves game. Like, I know we won that game in the end, but only just. Even Copenhagen, Galatasaray, last season, Sevilla. Like, it happens a lot. It really does happen a lot. And even City last season, earlier in the season, they scored a goal shortly after half-time, I think 10 minutes after half-time, and won the game. Like, it's a constant theme that things are okay-ish first half, and then second half they get worse.
Yeah, 100%.
That can't happen. That can't keep happening. I don't think we're going to lose today. I'd be stunned and mortified if we did. But I just think this whole thing of, like, coming out sluggish in the second half, I don't know what these players respond to.
Bayern Munich's another one, innit, at home. That second half was worse than the first half, if memory serves. Was it that game? And I remember thinking I wanted a reaction in the second half because we'd been putting them first and we were worse.
Yeah, I mean, one of the few where it's the other way around was obviously Villa at Boxing Day, which is why I think it was such a sort of uplifting game.
Yeah,
because United looked dangerous. We were playing the ball quickly. We came back from the 2-goal deficit to win the game. But too often it's the other way around. And especially if you want to be a top team challenging, you have to end games well. You have to end strongly.
Brighton's another one I thought at Old Trafford we were poor in that second half. Newcastle, I mean, it's happened quite a lot. And the thing is, United, we've always been that team that in the second half, whether that's under Fergie, even post-Fergie a lot of the time, we've been able to dig deep and we've had enough quality to get a result in that second half. But we haven't seen it under it tonight. It's a bit of a weird one.
We mentioned there, like the Wolves one. We win the game with a late, last-minute Man United academy player doing the Man United thing and winning the game in the 97th minute. But the reason that needed to happen is because we absolutely pissed away a 2-goal lead. It shouldn't be needed. It shouldn't be what we rely on.
No.
Second half underway. Yes, thank you very much.
Well, they're restarting it again.
Yeah, because I don't know. It was their player was 15 yards in our half when they actually made the pass, and they're just going long, booting it up, putting loads of them up there. They've won the header, and Lindelof just collects. Kicks the second ball away. Abhishek, I don't know if you read this before, but he said this is as good as you can do with this squad. I think maybe in the results and the amount of points potentially, but I think in terms of the performances and the structure and the style, I do think you can expect a bit more than this. Glimmer Twin says double shots conceded again already. Parks says love the channel lads. When are you back in Australia? Well, I'd love to do a live show in Australia,
what's that?
The main reason we're in Australia for the last couple of times was where the tour went, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
But I'd love to go back there and do some other stuff. Rohit says the player profile doesn't match what Ten Hag wants to implement. Trying to blame the manager is unfair. Sign ball secure players and have a style and dominate. Maybe. Max Ketley says appreciate a lot of this sucks, but can we take a second to appreciate Garnacho is always trying? Yeah, I think we've given him a bit of praise, haven't we? It's literally his intensity and when he gets on the ball, driving with it, that's been the difference in this game. I've not seen that from Rashford or...
Do you know what, as well, right? In an ideal world, Garnacho's probably in and out of the team. Like, genuinely, as a youngster, as a teenager, he's been like 18, 19 now, getting into the United team. You're probably rotating him a little bit, like giving him a breather now and again, giving him sort of 3 or 4 games off, then bringing him back in. But we haven't got that option. We haven't got that luxury. So he's having to play pretty much every game. And a lot of those games he's playing the full 90 or whatever as well. And he always at least looks direct, like he wants the ball, like he's trying to make things happen. Yes, his decision-making at times can let him down. But I thought even going back further to the Fulham game, he was one of the few bright sparks who looked like he was up for it. And that's a bare minimum from Manchester United players. But unfortunately, some of his teammates, we don't even see that.
I know. It's just not good enough, is it, really?
What have you made of Kobbie Mainoo today?
I don't think he's been great, to be honest. I think he's been out. I want to see him get involved more.
Yeah, he looks maybe a little bit leggy to me. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe I think someone might have mentioned it in the comments. I hope we could be in here. Garnacho,
1-on-1.
He's off.
Oh, fuck's sake, he's always off.
No, I don't know. Kobbie Mainoo, he's not having one of his better games. He's not been terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but he's another one who perhaps could.
He shouldn't be playing every game.
Yeah, he shouldn't. Like, you're 18 years old, you've been thrown into the middle of the park for Manchester United, still developing yourself. He should be given the option of like being rested now and again, being rotated. Yeah, I think he's a phenomenal footballer and I want to see him play most games, but ideally, you sort of bring him into the team a little bit gradually. You don't just go, right, you're in forever.
No, you
every
play
game
every
now.
single minute now.
Yeah, that's not how it should be, and I think that's what we're in danger of doing with some of these kids because they're still kids.
Because of the quality of the teammates and the... Look at this.
Everton here, they've looked like they've got another option there. He's found it as well.
Sure.
No, I mean, there you go again, you see. Godfrey. Just the quality's not there from Everton, but they're certainly getting the time and the space. I mean, you look here.
That. Look at this space.
It's like, look, we won't bother with having a left back.
Yeah, we don't need.
And I don't know what he's doing there, to be honest with you. It's neither here nor there. It's not a shot and it's not a cross. It's just nothing.
I mean this in the nicest way possible. Are our players shit? Like, actually?
No.
So what's going on then? Because we look like we've got... They just
I don't think they are shit.
I know we're sixth, so we're not that bad, are we, in grand scheme of things? But
that's a poor.
everything's like this. Everything's just poor.
Yeah. I just don't think you've got anyone in the team as well when things are going badly. Like, I've seen good United teams when things are going badly, right? And you'll have someone like, I don't know, maybe a Roy Keane or a Scholesy or someone who'll just put the foot on the ball, or a Carrick put his foot on the ball and just calm everything down and just pick some nice passes and get everyone going again. You'll have leaders at the back. You'll have people that can hold the possession at the front as well, hold the ball up, or create a little bit of magic to get you going.
Yeah.
I think at United, when things are going badly, everyone's bad together.
Yeah.
There's no one who's going, let's get a grip of this game.
And there's a certain mardiness to the squad as well, isn't there?
It's
Rashford
really
there, just charging in twice, both times nowhere near the ball, and then that's his job done now. And we're relying on that quick break counter attacks against Everton.
It isn't. The word mardiness, I think, is quite appropriate.
It's a Mardy team.
There is.
You look through it. Bruno's Mardy. Rashford's Mardy. Who else is Mardy? At times, Lindelof looks Mardy. Casemiro looks Mardy to me at times when he's stepping in and off. Like, it's a throw your arms in the air squad, innit?
Yeah, it is.
Like, you can't. The top teams aren't like that. Maybe in the 90s they were.
No.
But not now. The top teams.
But at least in the 90s, you had a bit of an edge to you.
Yeah.
Like, if you was moaning at the ref, you was also flying into challenges and getting stuck in. Do you know what I mean? Like, Roy Keane had moaned to the ref, but he'd also absolutely smashed people. Whereas here, it just seems a lot of moaning with each other or sulking with each other.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Another block shot there by Everton. Johnny Evans with a block. Go on, that's not a foul. That's not a foul! Oh, is he give a throw in? Okay, fuck. I thought the ref was giving a foul there. He just fell over, but he didn't. Yeah, the linesman, sorry. I call him assistant referee, but you can call him what you want.
What are they doing here? They're checking for a handball?
Making him retake the throw in.
All right.
I don't even know what they're doing. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think they're checking for an handball there. But it's not a handball.
It's his knee first. Come on, lads.
Unless his hand's on his knee. That doesn't make any sense.
You in the park near yours.
Yeah.
Getting throttled.
Oh, fucking hell!
Alright, I'm going to be positive for the next 5 minutes. Every good thing that happens, I'm pointing it out, okay?
Right, okay.
Until the 56th minute.
Right. What are we on here?
Alright, I'm only speaking when something good happens. Varane does well there. Marks his man well. Good pass from Varane as well.
Right, go on, Maney.
Kobe Mainoo's on the ball. Another little pass to Rashford. Oh, and a great pass from him as well. Another 5-yarder. Bit of space there for Mainoo.
I don't know what Marcus was doing there.
The ball was hip high to him as well, wasn't it? Or,
no, he flicked it up.
But he was bouncing
flicked it up,
him,
like, he just flicked it. I don't know why he did that. He could have controlled it, and he seems to flick it up.
This was good. The good 1-2s there from Casemiro and Bruno. Bit better this from United.
He's keeping hold of the ball.
It's nice being positive. It's hard, but it's nice. Look at this. Sumptuous. Isn't it?
Wow.
That's what Casemiro's been trying that pass all day, and he's
he
finally
got it
come
right
off
there.
it. First time round, whipping it over his shoulder. He loves it.
This is more like it, man. Just keep hold of the ball.
Yeah, just do this.
Do this for the next 40 minutes. We're laughing. We'll win.
Do you know the last 15 minutes against City when they got their second goal and we just didn't touch the ball after that?
Yeah.
Just do a bit
Here
of that.
we go.
Genuinely, this
Go
is
on,
a very
Garnacho.
good movie. Have a shot, lad.
Oh.
Unlucky. Better. The last 2 times he got in that position, he's not had a shot or a cross.
No,
I'm
he
glad
hasn't.
he's actually, there's a bit of end product there. Did he just go over? Did he save it? That was good from United. We kept hold of the ball. When there was gaps, we passed. When there wasn't, we kept it. We were willing to
What's
go
he done now?
backwards.
He's just
That was
hit it
so
over.
much better. That was genuinely so much better, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
just
he's hit
hits
the
it over.
crossbar, isn't he? Or hits some. Maybe it was after the bar. But that, it was genuinely, and I'm not just saying this because I'm being positive for 5 minutes. That was actually the best play of the day. That. And look, Everton look like they got less time on the ball, but that's a good passing behind from Everton. Christ. Well done, Dalot. Almost.
Bloody hell.
How's he still got it there? Well done, Casemiro. This is better.
There you go.
This is good. This is nice. That's sharp.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
that was... Sorry, Marcus...
Sorry for banging on the desk.
Instead of being negative, what I'm going to say is Marcus Rashford couldn't quite run at the speed of sound to get
Honestly,
that ball there, could he?
why?
Unfortunately.
He did that in the first half, McTominay.
He's not a through ball player.
No,
is
he's
he?
not, is he? Like, just get on the end of that, son. Go on.
Yeah, go on. I'll just pepper it at the goal. And if you can get in the way, then great. Yeah, we're... Blimey. Force them into that Casemiro pass there, aren't we?
Oh my God.
That's how you know
Hey,
we're
we're
doing well.
bringing Calvert-Lewin on.
Andre Gomez as well. If you're a player, because he's got first and Sir on the back there, hasn't he? What are you going with on the back? Just Motta's head? Or Motti?
I'll go with just... Yeah, I'll just go with Jay.
J.
Yeah.
3 letters.
Save the... Is it standard now? I've had letters put on the back of the shirt. Do you have to pay per letter, or is it just standard for the name?
I think... I don't know.
I can't remember. I have done it for
Yeah,
my
I think
kid,
it
but
goes
I can't
between.
remember. You know what I mean?
But if it's paid by number, you're just having the letter J.
You'd save a bit of dough for the man,
the
them
tin.
and that, innit?
Save them £3 or whatever. They properly overcharge.
What are
for
you
that
having
as
though?
well.
Because you've got like Smith, which is obviously...
I'll have Smith, yeah. But they overcharge for that. Remember, you just like £3 a letter, and you think this tiny bit of plastic that they just iron on, that they've probably bought 1 billion of, that are definitely costing them a quarter of a penny each. Proper markup that in it.
Who had the longest surname, do you think, in the Premier League? Which player had the longest name?
Vinegar of Hesseling.
I was thinking of him, the kid at Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to be on it.
That's ridiculous.
Because he's got 2 long names as his surname.
That's mental.
Yeah, Jan Venegor of Hesselink.
And he had Forest. Where was he at?
Look at the back of his shirt.
Wolves.
Oh my God, I need to show that picture. The back of Jan Venegor of Hesselink's shirt is absolutely crazy.
That's crazy, that man.
No one's got longer than that. Look at this. Absolute horseshoe of a name.
Look at that,
Look
man.
at that. It covers the whole fucking back, man.
Hey.
No one's got a longer one than that. I refuse to believe.
No,
it starts at the bottom of the 2.
That's got to be the winner.
And goes all the way down to the bottom of the other number. Incredible. Pass inside there if he wants it.
Fucking hell.
McNeil in the box.
Saved there for Manana.
Yeah, well done. He's certainly not short of experience in terms of saving Onana, is he, at United?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know that thing of like, the hardest thing for a goalkeeper is not to switch off? He's never had to worry about that.
No, because he's
Which is
constantly got to be on it because he's constantly getting shots at him.
Yeah, and I think if you think...
It's like the opposite of Van der Sar, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's poor, that from Casemiro.
The other thing I
Steady man
noticed
there,
as well
Marcus.
is, it's poor from Casemiro, and it is. But the amount of times United players are having to play their ball at knee height because the pass that was given to them is coming in, bobbling, bouncing. Like, it's stupid from Casemiro. But no one's ever given an easy, like,
a lot of the
reception
pass,
ball.
but I mean, I think he could have done a lot.
Yeah, it was just stupid.
It was fucking awful.
Everton have had 60% possession in the second half. Yes, man. Fucking hell. That's how you control a game. What you do here's how you control a game. There's 2 ways of doing it. One is you hold the ball and control it by not letting them control it, which is boring. Or you control it by knowing that the opposition aren't very good at scoring and letting them prove that by giving them all the ball. And they'll lose confidence when they miss all their shots. And that's what United do. And for me, that is the long con. Isn't it? How to really...
rope-a-dope trick. Like Ali and Foreman. Yeah. Just let them time themselves out by having loads of shots and loads of possession.
Yeah. Thriller and Manila style. Unlucky.
Stretching there, Garnacho.
Yeah,
ball from Bruno across the goal. Garnacho at the back post, but he was stretching for it and he couldn't get his foot round it to get his shot on target. It just kind of went out.
It was the pass there that let it down, but it wasn't a bad pass. It just wasn't quite as good as it could have been. We've got a few super chats. Max Ketley says, appreciate a lot of this sucks, but can we just take a second to appreciate Garnacho? We're trying to think I've read that one already. Akash Paul says, how likely is it that Ineos have privately asked Ten Hag to show us your play style, then he makes them play that style, then if they can't, Ten Hag tells Jim Ratcliffe that they can't. Like, as in, he's just said, try and do it as best you can with this squad, and if they're not good enough, then we'll back you. I don't imagine that's happened.
No,
really.
I don't think they'll have said anything like that to him. They might have done, but
they probably just said, what do you need in the summer? Here's what we're thinking. Here's how we want to play. Can you do it?
They probably just said, win some fucking football matches, you stupid bastard.
Yeah, exactly. Probably. Glimmer Twin says, stoppable force meets movable object.
Nicely done then. He's flipped it round, hasn't
he? Yeah.
Hey.
Everton making a triple substitution. Decore coming off for Gomez. Andre Gomez is a weird one. Do you remember when he first got there and he looked brilliant?
Yeah, he did look good.
Was it Coleman who was under, or was it... No, it was Thingy, wasn't it?
I can't keep track of all their managers.
Who's their manager? Who's...
Well, they've had Silva.
Yeah, Silva, that's what I'm about.
Marco Silva.
Marco Silva.
Yeah, because they had Allardyce and Silva, didn't they? You talk about United going from one extreme to the other. Everton are the masters of it.
I know.
They'll go from, like, I don't know, Martinez to Allardyce or whatever, Allardyce to Silva or whatever.
Lampard, Dyche.
It's always like one way to the next. Yeah. That's like not related at all.
Like the sort of...
And Solotti getting in the mix as well.
The short passing of Silva, the kind of defensive rigidity of Allardyce, the trying to not get you relegated of Dyche to I'm trying to get you relegated of Frank Lampard. It's two polar opposites, isn't it?
It is.
Fair enough. If you want a manager to try and get you relegated, Lampard's your guy. But then don't go for Dyche who's trying to keep you up straight after. Be consistent.
That's just stupid.
Look at this, look at this.
So confusing.
All it takes is a slowed down, sort of knackered, dejected Everton, and United can play out from the back.
I know, man. But we can't. Look at that.
When I say play
bang on cue, Raphael Varane just kicks it out.
I was trying to be positive.
Like someone's had an injury. Like, I'm just going to deliberately kick this ball out. Hey, up, United are in here now. Bruno.
Has Rashford touched the ball in this game? Has Rashford touched the ball in the second half?
He's not about that. Don't worry about that. Well done.
Garnacho.
Well done. Oh, come on, man.
Out wide.
Ooh, we got a corner out of it. Garnacho, Fernandez with a shot just inside the box, was it?
Yeah. I need to see how many passes Rashford's made.
He has touched the ball, by the way, Marcus Rashford.
He's only attempted 13 passes all game though.
Right, but I've seen him have the ball this half.
Yeah,
I'm not defending that, by the way. I'm just saying he has.
I don't even think all of it's his fault, to be honest.
Nah, it's
but
not really
it's just he's just not involved at all, is it?
No, he's not.
It's weird, isn't it? Just the whole Rashford situation is so saddening.
Saddening's a good word.
Because even if you hate him or you love him, what you're seeing and what we're seeing out of him, not just in terms of output, but in terms of, people keep saying it, but just body language, involvement in games.
Here we are. Oh, come on. Oh.
It's just not.
He's very close there, Jordan Pickford, just putting it in the goal. Has he blown up? I was about to say. This is Sunday League, right? This is proper the dog and duck versus the red lion.
Goal scramble,
come on. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is
Pickford
just...
there, it just hits his leg.
Honestly, we're 2 steps away from a dog running on the pitch and the referee storming off home because his tee's on.
Yeah, and Ten Hag making the dog captain.
Yeah, I mean, this is proper.
This is unreal, isn't it?
Have you ever seen that footage of that Chucky goal where it's like the worst goal ever? The Brian McClare one where like it's us against, I think it's Sheffield Wednesday away.
Yeah.
And like it's the ball, like Robson's involved, Chucky's involved. I think he's there. Loads of people just miss the ball. It's the post. The keeper makes a hash of it. Defender tries to clear it and fluffs his lines. And then, like, eventually, after about 2 minutes of dross, Chucky just has a tap in and scores. It's like, it always does the rounds as like the worst goal
of all time. I think I've seen it on Twitter, actually.
Yeah. It's like crap 90s football. You used to always use it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, it was awful. But he got there in the end, and that's what matters.
That really is all that matters.
Hit that like button as well, please, people.
Yeah,
Come on,
let's
we're not
get
got to 1,000
likes.
likes. We're 2-0 up. How often does that happen? Casemiro again. Honestly. And he's gone for the terrible pass and then the arms out as in, come on, what are you doing?
That's not my fault.
Hey.
He's taken his sort of like, if you think of a pass as a risk,
Yeah.
he's just removed the risk limiter, hasn't he, from his brain. Like normally a defensive
From
midfielder,
his brain, you know.
Normally a defensive
Like he's having a
midfielder,
meltdown.
you've got like a little attachment where you go, my risk limiter is turned up higher than any other position except maybe goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I cannot risk it. His is unscrewed it and just fucked it in the bin.
Like, let's just go for it.
I will take
we having a little chat there or what?
I'll take
know.
maximum risk every time I'm on the ball and I don't care.
Bloody hell.
Bobbles.
Everton are joining on the Sunday League
Boot
aspect of
it.
this game here now.
Yes, man. Knee in the fucking
Have a
back,
bit of
man.
that.
Get up. Lindelof.
There was a bit, right? Do you remember in the Forest game?
Yeah.
There was a minute spell where I started laughing, where the ball was just bouncing around. It was like headers and volleys or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it felt like, remember, it was like a Sunday League game.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of that today as well.
Yeah, loads of that, yeah.
Goalmouth scrambles, like just one bad pass after another, exchanging possession. Like, it's been crazy, this game.
It has. The confidence is just through the floor, innit? Because I do you know when your short passes aren't coming off? Like easy 5 and 10 yard passes, that's a confidence thing, that. Because no tactic tells you to fucking not pass the ball 5 yards accurately.
No.
There's no tactic in the world that relies on that. And I think we're getting to that point now where the players can't do basic things because they're just so down and so lacking confidence that it's just like, oh, I've underhit it, I've overhit it. Free kick to Everton, straight into the wall. So low quality, this game. It's so low quality.
It's like this game doesn't count. It's like it's a behind closed doors friendly.
Yeah, it does. It's got pre-season vibes, hasn't it? Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, fine.
Oh, fucking hell.
Should we just end the game with a penalty shootout? We can't. Well, we can.
Was it in New Jersey they did that? They went, yeah, United have won, but we're going to have a penalty shootout anyway.
Against Arsenal. And then we beat him on penalty.
I know, like, what was that?
I don't know.
How's
What was
that
it,
a thing?
4-1 or whatever?
Like, we won, and then they went, we're having penalties anyway. That's not how it works.
Yeah, it's not a children's birthday party. Like, where you just, let them have a
Did I
go.
tell you about that time I used to do, like, when I worked at the soccer dome, do the kids' party sometimes. Because I'm fully CRB'd and that, don't worry. And there was a party, there's a kid.
Well,
yeah.
just before you finish this, this might time with Sam Z Super Chat. It says, craziest thing you saw reffing, Jay.
Right. So I used to do this kid's party. And what you used to do 5-a-side game, and then at the end of it, you do penalties, right? So the kid must have been about 6, yeah? So it's a 5-a-side game. Anyway, his dad wants to play, and he's in full kit with shinies on and everything,
No,
right?
100%.
100%.
What, play with 6-year-olds?
Yeah. And he was flying into challenges. He's screaming. And I said to him, come here a minute, what word are you? I said, chill the fuck out. It's a children's party. What is wrong with you? And he went, all right, yeah, I'm sorry, ref. I'm stood there in a fucking t-shirt and trackies like I'm an official FIFA-approved referee. And then at the end of it, right, we had a penalty shootout. So you give them a game for like 40 minutes or whatever, and then a 20-minute game, and then they have a party, food and ice cream and jelly upstairs, yeah? For the penalties, he went in goal.
No,
yeah?
he didn't.
Listen, hear this, right? It's his son's party, yeah? He saved every single penalty except his son's. Like, genuinely. he was
Vile
unhinged. Right.
Did he take one?
I don't think he took one. No, I
Absolutely
won't let him take one. I think I
smashed it
stopped
in.
him from taking. I said, "You're not taking a penalty, you," because he was literally
Going
a
in goal
lunatic.
against kids.
Shin pads on everything, a full kit. Oi! What are you doing, Denton? Yes, fucking yes. Come here, you. Come here. Calm down.
That's the sort of energy we need at United at the minute,
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
You know-
I'd give him a game for 20 minutes. Just taking it way too seriously.
Flying in and out into tackles. Scott McTominay's just picked up a booking.
I hate to bring it back to other
Onana's
teams.
been in the wars, hasn't he?
He has.
They're Onana, not ours.
When you see other teams playing, they don't look like they're making difficult passes all the time. Like they're having to sort of thread the needle. It's good spacing, good movement, consistently making easy passes over and over and over again. We always find our attacks get to a point where we either need a world-class pass that sort of separates two men, or the attack is going to break down. That's not sustainable, is it? Like there, McTominay, the reason he got booked is because he tried to make a pass, because the only pass that was available to him was a ball through their entire defence to our attacker, and he gives the ball away and then it ends up fouling someone afterwards. But you just think, like, you shouldn't be having to make very, very difficult passes all the time, because there should be people available that are easier to pass to. Now what we got now? Good ball. Keep it.
So just keep it, like you said, nice and simple. It's not enough as well. Like the passes have been poor, but also showing for the ball. There's been a lack of that. You see that with Manu, then as soon as he gives it, he moves to try and get in space, like so he can get it back. There's been too much just giving it and then just staying in a position where you can't receive the ball back.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
It's the one after this, though, that worries me. So you play into the defender, back to the keeper. We're going to have to go long at some point.
Wait, go
because
on,
we can't-
twinkle toes.
there you go, we've gone long. Because we can't get it from the defence into the midfield.
What was that?
We can't do
Gary
it.
Oldman in the house.
The only way the midfield gets the ball is if they drop into the defensive line.
Yeah.
And when they do, there's no midfielders for them to pass to anymore.
What's your favourite Gary Oldman film?
Batman,
Really, which one?
Dark Knight.
Okay.
I think that's the best of the three, innit?
Yeah, that's his shout out.
I know it's not really a Gary Oldman film, but he's certainly
Nah, he's in it, innit? Like, fair enough.
Commish. What's yours?
Leon.
Oh, I've never seen that. Is it's the biopic about former Everton player Leon Britton, isn't it?
Yeah. Leon,
Yeah.
Leon Osman.
Oh, yeah, Leon. Who's Leon Britton?
Leon Brit.
Leon. Oh, sorry, he played for Swansea. Sorry, I meant the Swansea player. Sorry, there's two films called Leon. One's about Leon Osman. One's about Leon Britton.
Right, he's in both of them, Gary Oldman.
And there's a third one that I've seen, which is very good, which is about the sort of train station adjacent fast food chain Leon, which is very good. It talks about their, I think it's a South Korean style chicken burger. It's absolutely delicious.
Okay.
Is that the one you're on about?
That's it. And there's also one with Natalie Portman and Jean Reno, where he's a proper baddie in it.
Is it? Oh, don't
He's
spoil
a
it, because
baddie.
I'm going to watch that tonight. Or another night. Thank you. Say no more, please. Is the one where he's got the round glasses on the video, on the picture? Yeah. What's good, that?
Don't spoil it, 'cause I'm going to watch it now.
Don't spoil it, because
I've got it on my laptop. Shh. Don't spoil it.
Let's all just do a watch along for us watching
Leon.
the film Leon. We can all get it on our laptops. I'll put a link in the chat. We'll all just sit and watch Leon together. Do you like Leon, the food chain? I'm never drawn to it.
I don't even know what you're on about.
You've never heard of... There's one next to Piccadilly Station.
Sorry, I fully believe you.
You've been to Piccadilly Station, have you?
I've heard of it.
You don't really go... You actually, to be fair, though, you don't go in Piccadilly train station very often, do you?
No, man. I don't like to travel anywhere other than Eccles to here and back again. That's it. Yeah.
And you can't get... Is there a train
Right.
station in Eccles?
It's a fucking course of his, man.
Is there actually?
Yeah. And
You
it's
always get the
so
travelling,
shit
don't you?
as well, right? Because sometimes the trains that are meant to go there just don't.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
they
forget.
don't, they just go past. And the schedule to... And it says, like, the train will be in a minute and it'll just get there and just keep going. You're like, that's literally the train on the fucking board that's meant to be stopping and picking me up.
Is it like...
They get to Eccles and they're like, no, fuck.
Yeah? Fuck that noise.
We're not stopping here.
Like,
We're not stopping.
Yeah. lock your doors.
Yeah, do trains
put the windows up, lock your doors.
Do trains have hubcaps?
Yeah. You cheeky bastard.
No, but...
This is crying out for Ashley Young to come on and score an hat-trick.
Ashley Young's coming on forever.
Yeah.
How old is he now? Got to be 37.
48. Nah,
got-
I reckon he's 40.
Do you think?
Yeah, I'm going 40.
38.
Oh, you nailed it.
I win. But I've only been one goal out.
1 goal.
1 game, 1 year.
I think you've got away United. I think you're losing your marbles.
I can't make a
I think
10-yard
watching
sentence
United,
in a
right? I've
minute.
said this before. It's bad for you. It sends you mental.
It does.
Like, that's why I think tonight's losing the plot. Because imagine watching United and having to watch it constantly and make decisions around United, and that's your job all the time.
And you think
just watching it, what we do, and commenting on it makes you a bit doolally.
he probably thinks he's tried so many different things as well, Ten Hag. I bet he's tried so many things, and just none of it works, does it?
Mate, I think Christian Eriksen needs to come on me.
Yeah.
I think you need someone, because this has turned into a Sunday League game.
Turgid
And
dross.
whether you think Eriksen's great or not, he can pick a pass out. He can put his foot on the ball. He's got a calmness and an assuredness to him. James Garner's come off. I don't think he's done much, to be fair.
No, I'd bring Eriksen on as well. I'd maybe even bring Anthony on just to try and shake it up a bit for Rashford, maybe.
Yeah,
Something.
Rashford's not really done a lot. I'm not a big Anthony fan, but I get your point. I get your point.
New energy, even if it's not ideal. Even Ahmad, whatever you want.
It'd be great to see Ahmad get a few minutes, wouldn't it? But I doubt it. Doesn't seem to rate him, does he?
No.
So you shouldn't be doing passes like that, man.
We always get to this point with players, don't we, where Ahmad is almost favoured because... Not because there's a lot of evidence of him doing good things, but there's less evidence of him doing bad things.
Down so they reach the level where he's suddenly a good option.
Yeah.
God, get rid of the... Put a foot in! Oh my God.
Little ball in from Mikolenko.
What's he... Oh my God. I don't even know where to begin there. Honestly, what is going on now? Why is everyone just stood watching it?
Just watch it.
Like watching the ball, like Everton there, the ball's just gone across the goal twice, I think. So I'm having to watch this here now. The header comes in. Yeah, I mean, very nearly scored there. So I can see what Evans is doing there, to be fair. And the ball comes across here, then Onana's sort of doesn't really dive for it, just dives down. Mate, we're fucking riding our luck here,
If they get 1 goal, it's right on.
Of course it is.
I think we need to make a sub.
Need to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, these players... Oh, God, we just give away a free kick there. This is turgid stuff.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
What's he think he's
It's an
doing
absolute open the Tupperware on a stool sample, this, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly.
And this is what you see in the Tupperware. This whole game.
I used to hate missing games. I used to hate not going. Like, I used to regret, I should have gone there, fucking hell. And now it's like, take it or leave it sometimes.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Liverpool game. It does. You
Got to
can't
get
help but
Højlund
think
right.
about
Get
the
for
next
starters.
game.
Getting Højlund back makes a big difference because he's someone who can hold the ball up, someone who's a danger all the time.
Oh my God, who was that?
Was that Onana?
Onana.
He's been involved in a lot, hasn't he?
With a
Onana?
20-yard overhead kick there.
It was one of them. I couldn't see where our Onana was when he hit it then, and I thought this was just going to drop in, but then Onana was just stood right underneath it. Fucking hell.
Varane's just crumpled under the weight of Earth's gravity there. We've got.
Oh,
do you know when people do high altitude training, so that when they come back to lower altitude,
Get up!
Their fitness is better, their legs are better because they've
Get
got
up,
extra
man.
blood. We look like we've been doing below sea level training.
That's just a shit.
And
pass as
everything we do is just too
And that
tiring, too... What's
that? Like, that's 3 passes on the spin that are terrible. Marcus give away free kick there. He's arguing he never touched him. But McTominay and Marcus Rashford there gave 2 passes to each other that were both behind where they needed to be.
I hate whinging as well. I hate being negative.
I know, I want to be positive, man. We're 2-0 up, and if you just join us, you think, what are these moaning about? We're 2-0 up. Amrabat's coming on.
People have been calling him Scamrabat on Twitter. What do you make of that?
That's hilarious. Could be
Mainu,
Mainu's coming off. He looks a bit leggy today, Mainu.
He's not been
He
great.
still looked good on the ball, and actually I don't think he's been one of our worst players, but you can see he's not at the levels he usually is. So it makes sense for me. Get Amrabat on. This is Sunday League tackling it. It's give a ball away, concede a foul. Give the ball away, give away a foul.
Yeah.
Kick the ball out for a needless throw-in. Concede another foul.
Yeah.
Like it's stopping, starting every 2 seconds, and it's garbage.
You play chess a little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
And they say when you first learning chess, I've watched a few videos. They talk about when you're really early on and you're playing someone who's not particularly good. You can win by letting your opposition make enough mistakes.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, you don't have to force it.
Play defensive chess.
Just play defensive.
Yeah.
Let them make the mistakes and capitalise. This is what we're seeing here. United, like, it's literally just a case of we've been slightly less shit than them.
Yeah.
It's not.
What's that? What? Oh my God! What are you lot doing?
Good stuff. It's just be slightly less bad than the opposition is.
You've got honestly.
It's so.
It's so bad as well.
It's
like
so bad.
When someone's giving a pass that's half decent pass, they're just sort of standing and admiring the pass they've given because it's like, right, I didn't give it away then.
Yeah.
Like instead of moving for it and showing for it and giving him another option. Honestly, we've just seen 2 combinations, right? One with McTominay and Rashford where it was awful, and then another one with Amrabat and Garnacho on the other side where it was.
Please.
That's in keeping with today, innit?
Yeah.
Where it was awful as well. Just like giving the ball away between themselves. Honestly.
Yeah, it's just insane, isn't it? I mean, United are probably going to win this game now. I think if Everton get a goal at any time, it'll be close. Which we can't overestimate or underestimate. But
this could be.
I think it's the worst Premier League game.
I was going to say this could genuinely be like Blackburn versus Rotherham, whatever. Like the quality
it's a proper today. Championship relegation scrap 6-pointer. This, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
it blatantly is.
Yeah, especially it's weird as well. I feel bad for teams like Luton and stuff who were struggling.
Yeah, and
when we played them, they had something about them. Luton, like the worst teams we've played this season are Sheffield United, Everton, and Forest. I would say in terms.
Oh my.
United are just giving away a corner, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even know where to start, right? Johnny Evans passes it back to Onana, who just watches it go out and then lets it go out for a corner.
John Kelly sums it up.
I don't know what's going on there.
John Kelly sums it up and just says, tiki-taka. This is tiki-taka stuff here. Free header from a corner there for Calvert-Lewin.
Like, it's genuinely abysmal football.
Yeah. It is. Truly. Oh, just cut back to us having given the ball away. I don't even know how that happened. Truly woeful stuff. The fact that we've allowed Everton 50% possession when
Anthony's coming on, by the way.
Anthony's coming on. Everton average 39% possession per game, Jay. We're winning this game comfortably, scoreline wise, and we've allowed them 50% possession of this game at Old Trafford. It's nightmare stuff. It's so horrible to watch. The only reason it's remotely even acceptable and we're finding the humour in it is because we're 2-0 up.
I know.
But the scoreline defies the game that we're seeing. Is he taking
off? He's taking off Alejandro Garnacho for Anthony. Kind of makes sense that for me. Garnacho, I thought had a very good first half. He's faded a little bit in this half. He got him behind a couple of times. Maybe could have had a goal.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty. I think this second half's been worse than the first, to be honest with you. And the first was bad.
Quality-wise, it's been worse from both teams.
Yeah, no, you're right. Both because Everton looked actually better in the first half. In the second half, it has just been giving us Sunday League vibes.
Yeah, Stretford Paddock FC are playing right now, and I can assure you the quality isn't much worse than this.
Right.
Genuinely.
Right. It's the 82nd minute. Anthony's come on now.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to win this game.
We will.
Right, good.
They've won the header. They've won the second ball. And we're back with the third. Well done. Well done. That's good play, that. Good play from Man United there.
We're in there.
Oh,
it's like he just
got
away with it there.
Pickford. And now they're on the counter-attack here.
It's 4 against 4, is it? No, they're alright. I think we've got numbers back.
Yeah, but no one's getting near their players.
No one's bothering with him there. And Johnny Evans again. Honestly.
Good position here for Everton. Ashley Young whips one in, back post.
Getting away with it there, you know. Seriously. Like, Victor Lindelof needs to get over to that left. Remember, he's a left. He's playing left back, isn't he, Lindelof? And he's just like he's a centre back.
Yeah.
Just keeps leaving their right winger or their right full back, whoever's on the right hand side for Everton, all alone.
So we go from this, where we're almost in on goal. 10 seconds later, we're just getting peppered in our own box because we cannot stop counter-attacks at all. Good defending there from Anthony. He's done enough to put him off. It's
so dumb that we keep letting the same thing happen over and over again.
Right, what now? Who's on here? No one.
Fucking hell. It's not even near anyone.
No.
It's just like, he's like deliberately giving Everton the ball. It's miles away from any United player. It's not like someone didn't make the run or whatever. It's just nowhere near anyone. Fucking have some purpose, man.
Older Marcus. Okay.
Thank God for that. That's ours, isn't it?
Yeah, surely. Oh, did it come off Rashford?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Of course it did.
Yeah, United are just desperate for the game to end. I think they're desperate for the season to end a little bit, you know. I honestly do. I think if you gave every United player, they did a private vote so no one knew who voted for what, and you can push a button, the season just ends now.
Yeah.
I think that vote would pass. I think they would do it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, we'll come back we'll come back in pre-season and try again. Just take me to the Euros.
That happens in games though, like where you see the Reds have dropped in games, like the Newcastle away game. You could tell they'd give up.
Yeah.
1-0 down. You could tell.
Yeah.
They don't think we're gonna get back in at this. They just want this game to end. Amrabat's give away a free kick. I don't think it's too dangerous. It's about 40 yards out or something.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not ideal, but it's not like shooting distance. What are we on the 85th minute? Fucking hell, man. This
Probably
has been
10, well, at least 10 minutes left, I'd say. Not been a lot of stoppages, has there? But there'll usually be something. Well done, Onana. He's been good again, Onana, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He must be fuming. Like, just set up to fail, essentially, isn't he, so far? I know some of the mistakes.
Right, go on, Marcus. Run at him. Run at him, son.
Offside.
He's on?
No, he's not. I think enough of his body, like his knees in the opposition half, isn't he? So he's off.
Just offside there, Marcus Rashford.
But that was no offence to him, but that's stupid.
No, it's not offence.
Isn't it?
You're right.
Like, you're on the halfway line, so you know if you the line. Not only is it this imaginary line between their centre backs, but the line is literally drawn on the floor for you.
To be fair, when you watch it back,
Don't cross the line. Don't cross the line, and you're not offside. And he crosses the line before the ball's played. That's a good run from McTominay. Now what? That's a foul. Shut up, Tarkovsky. Shut up, mate. You're not going for the ball. You're going to push him off.
I'm going to say it again. Tarkovsky there has gone mad when that free kick's given. He doesn't get a yellow for it.
No.
Like, Delors got 2 yellows in 10 seconds at Anfield.
Yeah, for fuck's sake, he says.
Yeah, proper losing his shit. Branthwaite, is it coming off?
Mikolenko, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Mikolenko off. For Chimiti, I don't know him.
Are we bringing on Kambuala?
Yeah. I'm assuming it's Johnny Evans because he's
He's done alright, Johnny Evans. He's thrown himself. He's done everything he can do as well, man. 35-year-old,
Johnny Evans.
like throwing himself into tackles and
He's played
blocks.
well.
Yeah.
It's just sad that, like we've said, no end of times down the years. It's not the fact that they play well; it's the fact that they're the only ones playing well.
Yeah.
Like we saw it with Cavani at times. We saw it with even like I don't even know. Fucking Evans is probably one of our best players. Like last season, Eriksen was one of our best players. We have these players who are like in their 30s who look more driven, more excited, more hard-working than the rest of the players around him. And that shouldn't be the case. Casemiro heads wide there.
Do you reckon, what was he trying to do there, Casemiro? Do you reckon he's trying to...
Just trying to hit that back post, I think.
Into, like, score or
Yeah, I
just
think so.
bring someone in?
I think he was trying to score. What's
Fucking hell.
Kambwala doing there? Completely left his man.
Oh,
my God.
bloody hell.
Corner to Everton. Ball 25, 30 yards out. It's a great pass into the box. I'm sure he's offside, but it's a good save from Onana there. He came out well there, Onana. I think he was expecting a cross, but it almost seemed like a shot in the end. But well palmed away by him. Deep ball into the box by Everton. Headed away by Victor
Right, come on,
Lindelof.
Amrabat. Come on now, we should be on here.
It's on.
Go on, Marcus.
And we're about just keeping the ball. I think Everton have sort of given up a bit there, haven't they?
What are we on? 4 minutes of added time now. 90th minute. Bloody hell, this is a game you won't want to watch again.
Yeah. Good ball. Yeah, cross it in, cross it in.
I know. Got a corner out of it, but could have gone earlier there.
Garnacho man of the match. Probably just about in it, just because he's involved
Two
in both
goals
goals.
are that win, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Winning them 2 penalties, especially the second one. There was nothing on really when he got it. He just created something.
Yeah, he did. I think Johnny Evans would be...
Oh yeah, that's
second.
a shout. That, I like that.
Back to the edge of the box, Darlow. We only had 2 players in the box. We're not trying to score again now, are we? We're you know,
I don't even know what that was.
just waiting for the game to end, aren't they?
It's like... Fucking hell. Honestly. This is like an advert for other leagues. This is like an advert for La Liga.
Yeah.
If I was like the president of the Liga,
Yeah.
I'd be showing this to potential sponsors. So you can either sponsor our league or this shite
Yeah.
over in England.
It looks like... Do you know when the Republicans will do an advert about Joe Biden and
Yeah,
putting
and
all,
he's
putting all
forgetting
his
his words
stutter
and
in
that.
and all that?
Yeah.
This game looks like it was designed by La Liga.
Yeah.
To,
Like,
to slander the Premier League.
this is what you get if
Yeah.
you fucking go and watch football in England.
Yeah. This is a side who's in Europe versus one of the longest standing top flight sides in England. And
Yeah.
this is all they can produce. This league must be garbage. Hold on. That's a good ball.
Yeah. Go on. Go on.
one
Something
more
right.
then.
One more.
Overlap. Well done. Pull it across. Shite.
It's a bad ball. That. Corner.
Corner.
What minute is it?
93.
93.
Well, 93.
I'm going to stick my neck out and say we'll win this game.
I love that confidence from you. I'm not... I take a draw now. I would take a
If
draw
it's got any
now.
sense, just keep it in that corner.
Yeah, just keep it in there. Lovely. Blimey. Yes, look at this. It's liquid, isn't it?
Hey,
it's just
fucking
it's just,
Samba soccer.
it's just smooth stuff. Go on, have another go. Cool. You could have got that. Well done, Diogo. Yeah, we need a left back, don't we? Because Dallow's been markedly better than Lindelof already out there. Go on then, Rashford's in. Penalty.
Penalty? Oh no, he's offside.
Of course. So he's given a penalty and it's offside. So if he's on, we've got a penalty here. He's off.
He's off.
Why are you always off? He's definitely off. It is a fucking shite tackle as well.
Fuck me.
Branthwaite getting very, very lucky there.
That was like Godfrey's fucking penalty challenge. It's like, we're going to give away the most obvious penalty I've ever given away in my life. Thankfully for him.
He was offside as well, Rashford.
We'll have a little bit of a quick reaction from Abdullah before we wrap up as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it. Abdul, as the referee blows full time on the game, and it's 2-0 to Manchester United. I wouldn't say convincing, but certainly relatively quite calm by the end. You got your head in your hand there, Abdul. We've won 2-0. Describe the sort of mixture
Describe
of
the
emotions.
joy
You know
and
what's
elation
funny?
you're feeling that game's over.
I swear to God, yeah, this is nothing to do with like it being Man United. I can't believe we just wasted 90 minutes of watching that level of football.
It was
Like
poor,
people are
wasn't
gonna come in and saying, "Yeah, you're just being negative." And listen, I want to see Man United win games, but all I could think watching us play like that today is we've got a battering coming from Arsenal or Liverpool at Old Trafford. We've generally got a battering coming. The way we're playing right now. For 90 minutes, all I see is Casemiro just lose the ball every 2 seconds, and that's meant to be your defensive midfielder. You can't dress it up with them 2 goals, with them 2 penalties. You can't, like, we had moments, don't get me wrong, going forward where we could have added an extra couple of goals, but if you continue to do that, it's just very disappointing to look at. Like, what's there to see from United in that game, really? Like, there's nothing special. I think, like, you look at Garnacho outside of him being a threat, obviously winning the 2 penalties. Funnily enough, like, one of the penalties is literally because he decides to not pass the ball for so long, so he gets tackled. But it's just so disappointing, like, and trying to get the game up here on this. But there's nothing that stood out for me. I think Johnny Evans is the only one that can probably, like, hold his head high.
I think Onana as well.
Yeah, Onana's, again, he's been solid.
Commanded his area well as Onana for much of that game as well. There was a lot of times he just came out and got what he needed.
Looking at the numbers, oh my God.
Yes, goal difference is at 0.
Come on.
Yes, get in there.
Back up at 0.
So look at this here. Everton had 49% possession.
Mm-hmm.
They average, was it the second least in the league?
Yeah.
After Sheffield or something, like with 38 or 39.
Yes.
And they've come to Old Trafford and had 49% of the ball.
Yeah.
49%.
Well, let's not forget the 23 shots that they had as well.
Yeah, but we always concede shots.
I love that. Because they've conceded 23 shots at Old Trafford. Taken 23 shots at Old Trafford. And yeah, we're like, yeah, that's pretty good actually by our standards. Jay, any thoughts on that game?
Oh my God.
If it even was a game.
I mean, it had everything, didn't it? Penalties, skill, finesse,
throw-ins,
free kicks, offsides, a yellow card or 2. Yeah, just a classic.
Is that our worst win? Ever.
Worst win ever.
If that's
worst
the thing.
win ever.
I think I don't know. The Champions League final night and I was pretty bad.
Well, in terms of a spectacle.
Quality.
But at least at that
Quality
you can say
of
you're
play.
up against a very good Bayern Munich side.
That's true.
You're not up against a side that's 16th in the Premier League or
Beto
whatever.
and Dolby or whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
like it was pretty bad. But we know we needed to win.
Yeah.
We got to win.
It's a good win.
Don't want to be too negative. Like
3
3 points, clean sheet.
Top 4.
Marcus and Bruno on the score sheet. We'll take the positives, but
Maybe we
I
do
just
it.
hope, right, when Eric Ten Hag comes out and says that was a great performance, I hope he doesn't think that in his head. I hope he doesn't think that's how we need to play
been saying
against.
that for a few
That's
weeks
how we
now.
need to play against Liverpool.
Said it
because-
against Fulham.
I know. But that's what I mean. I hope he doesn't believe that. I hope he's just saying that as a PR stunt. Because if he thinks that's a good performance and that's what
He
we need
needs
to
to
do
see a
against
doctor.
the Scousers, we're going to be in real trouble.
Yeah.
He needs to see a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we'll be back in a couple of minutes for the full post-match breakdown, going through all of that, and it may well be a breakdown
On this
as
stream.
far as we're concerned. Yeah, stay where you are because that stream will automatically load after this one. So stay there, get a cup of tea, go for a wait, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Manchester United 2, Everton 0. The quality wasn't great, but it's 3 points all the same. And in the race for top 4 or top 5 or top 6 or whatever it is, it's 3 points in the bag.
Cementing our Europa League conference credentials.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Thank you very much, Jay. Thank you, Abdul, for coming on as well. This has been the Stretford Paddock Watch Along. Manchester United 2, Everton 0. We'll see you in a bit.